Okay. Copy the link. Post it. And we're live.
Poggers.
Okay.
PogChamp.
So I don't think I need my headphones. I'm gonna let things settle. Oh, here we go. Fix it Friday. Oh, no. That one. There we go. There. Okay. Hello. Form. Hit the screen. Image slideshow. Do that while we're waiting.
Interesting. Looking through the ice list that was sent to us.
Ah.
Oh, I need to check in on Evo results. No big announcements.
Let's change.
Goodbye. Good. So I don't know if you're playing music on stream, but there's nothing playing.
I am not.
All right, cool. Just making sure. Good Old Games is doing a big pack of free games, but something worth noticing is it's a lot of games that have been. Here, it's like I'm trying to find the bundle, but it's just like games that people are worried are going to get censored. So you can probably guess the quality
Well, the
of some of
content.
them. Rather, yeah, okay, that's a better way of putting it. You can imagine some of the content of some of these games.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think Cyberpunk is on here. I did see Honey Pops on there, which is very funny.
Mm. All right. Well, I think we are. I think we're probably good to start in a minute.
Dope. Ooh. How's everybody feeling tonight? Yeah, time to steal from EO's audience. You know it. You know it, baby. No, I don't think I don't. What's streaming on EVO right now? I assume it's still pools. Though I
Does Evo
think
still happen in
Mortal
Vegas?
Kombat. Yeah, it's still happening in Vegas. Um, Mortal Kombat 1 top 8 is like happening.
Hmm.
Which also I hope Sonic Fox isn't in stream again, but let's like Evo numbers. If Sonic Fox doesn't win Mortal Kombat 1, I'll be extremely surprised. But very specifically, I think it got. I know for a fact Mortal Kombat had the least amount of entrants. Yeah, that was it. It had, Jesus, 377 entrants.
Wow.
Uh, the next above that was 547 on Under Night in Birth 2 Sis Celeste.
Huh.
And then Marvel 2, a 25-year-old game, had 570. Yeah, top four being Street Fighter 6 at 4,200, Tekken 8 at 2,500, Fatal Fury at 15, and then Guilty Gear also at 15.
Hmm.
See where Marvel Dokkan's next year.
Okay. All right. So I pulled up the first deck
Yep.
in our submissions channel.
Yep. Ooh, that reminds me, I need to log in as the ShantottoCast.
Probably should. Just consider it, I guess. Yeah, Sonic Fox. Yeah, the exhibition against all the scrubs. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just give them the tournament. Wait, it's
Why even have the tournament at that point? Why even have Evo? We know what's gonna happen. We don't need to watch everything. Nobody needs to fly out here just to watch it.
Oh wait, I forgot. We continue with Google for
Yeah.
the account because I was like trying to input like passwords and stuff. I'm like something's wrong. I assume the deck you have open is Earth Wind 7.
Why would you think that?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Because
I
clicked them
usually go in
and that
order
was
of
the first one that
submissions.
opened. That should have been
Rosario? Oh wait, Shabab was on the 30th. Ooh.
yeah.
My
Ooh.
bad. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Okay.
Trying to dunk on me.
Okay.
Taking sucker shots on my banana cage.
No comment.
Taking sucker shots on my banana cage, Bilbo.
Look, what you and I do on a Friday night when no one's looking is nobody else's business.
Let's tango.
All right. So everybody, we are here to fix some decks here to give some advice. Pre-show is over, if you want to call it that. Ty, what do you see immediately?
That's a good
What stands out to
question.
you the most?
Two. This probably shouldn't be the thing that stands out to me the most, but two Carpenter. Uh, in
Yeah,
a
I think
$2
that
deck,
one's a
I'm
bit
not sure about.
ambitious.
Yeah. But I'm looking through everything else. Three Vincent, which I think makes sense. Like that's the thing is Vincent is a card that it's really weird to think that it came out Opus 23
Mm-hmm.
because every time I read it, I'm just like, this card's still coming out, right? Like
Right.
this card's not out yet, right? Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's from a future set, and then I'm like, wait, no.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, Barrett. Let's see. Also, wasn't there a new Vincent in this set? Is it that bad?
I think there is.
When Vincent enters the field, deal 9,000 to all forwards of cost 3 or less. When Vincent is chosen by a forward's ability, deal that forward 9,000. When he's chosen by a summon, choose up to one forward, deal at 9,000. Okay, yeah, no, I see why that's not in here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, so 3 Aerith, 3 Cisne. Try how I feel about that Cisne. So, see the 3 Yuffie. Control Yuffie. Yuffie naturally has haste, so she doesn't really get anything from Sonon.
Yeah.
But activating all of your stuff is pretty nice.
Well, because she reactivates all the forwards when she swings. So being able to swing with
Yeah,
being able to reactivate your backups is also pretty helpful.
it is pretty nice. It is pretty nice.
And it looks like we're trying to stick with a purely Cat 7 build here.
Yeah, which I
I think
think
it's
works out.
fine.
I like the idea of running the Vincent. Um, I'm wondering. So let me
What
look at this
bugs me
backup
is that it's
plan.
a very high curve deck.
Yeah,
15 cards cost 5 right now.
yeah,
15
it's
cards also cost 4.
you're playing one thing a turn.
Yeah, and I think that's not going to get the value it needs.
Yeah,
So, yeah, what I want to do first is clean up the backup line a little bit.
yeah, that's what I
Um,
was kind of thinking. I definitely want to get those carpenters out of here. Um, you're already running Chocomog, so you could realistically run Demonic Moogle. Uh, how do I feel about this 5-drop Sid?
I don't think it needs to be a 3, that's for sure.
Yeah, maybe not at 3. Let's see. Play 1 cat 6. Because it is more or less, it's a slightly better Star Sybil, but it can't search a backup, is the big thing I get from it. Also, isn't there some sort of cloud we could be running in here? Yeah, whatever. First
Not
backup thing.
within these colors without color fixing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get rid of those. Get rid of the carpenters. Ooh, Sheeran is actually pretty handy. Uh, grab that Google. Mario. I think realistically you can run it at 3. Also, Marlene only at 1.
I've definitely changed that quick.
Yeah,
I
because I
made
still
basically every backup a 2 of.
yeah, I like Chocobo Sam at. I don't hate Chocobo Sam at 3. I think, but I'm not sure if it needs to be at 3 because Chocobo Sam, Fat Chocobo into Chocolate is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do wish. I wish this deck also had a reason to run the 2-drop Chocobo just for another Chocobo Sam target.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it really doesn't. I don't think you don't exactly want to bounce the Vincent back to your hand.
Yeah.
You don't want to bounce the Bear. Like maybe just protect something. And also, I do not like that cloud. I mean, that's why we're here, right? So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So I put in 3 of the demonic Moogle because that makes sure that Chocomog is never dead.
Mm-hmm.
Um, definitely put that Sid Highwind down to like 1 or 2. I feel weird having it 1.
I definitely already have reduced it. I'm working on the limit break right now because there's a lot of good options.
Let's see, what does he have it at? Oh, there's the Yuffie. Enters the field if you control 2 more. Discard 2, choose a forward, break it. That's interesting. And especially she gets haste off of Sonon. But wait, she shouldn't be at 3. You can't play her at 3. Same
Yeah,
with the
no, you
Aerith.
can't. Not at all.
Yeah.
That's I've
So that
reduced
immediately opens
all
up
the
2
LB
spots.
stuff to one or two, and I've added a couple as well just for flexibility's sake.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to dig into. Let's search up all LB cards and let's stay in the colors. Search. Uh don't really have much of use for Dark Fina in here. Let's see. Uh I I do not want to pronounce the name of this card. Uh damn it.
Which one?
Valdrahar
Vajradhara
Va,
Wu.
Vajradhara Wu should probably be at 1 or 2.
I put it in as a one
Uh
of. I put everything. I put almost all the LB at one of except for the Yuffie.
yeah. I think
I think that's the only one that you're gonna ever try to cast more than once.
yeah.
And
I mean that
realistically,
Aerith.
even that, not really. You just have to have 8 limit break, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
that Earth really doesn't need to be there. I'm gonna look at clouds later and reassess, but I think Earth could probably go down to 1. I have Volgarhara Wu at 2 right now, and I don't know how to feel about it. Because in my opinion, that's just like the best LB you really have access to.
hmm
Mott might be worth running. Hmm. Like the Sid High Wind's handy, right? Because you're
hmm
just getting it back up. Um, So the Sid High Wind technically costs 2. The Yuffie's nice, because she also technically costs 2. The Emperor's the Emperor.
hmm
Shantotto's fine. Yeah, I'm not even sure if that should be at 1. Because like the tab effect is handy, but you're not running any Zax.
Yeah.
If anything, you should maybe run a cloud backup, because then Aerith can search a cloud backup. Curious. Within these colors, let's look up first category. Category 7. Let me check in on the chat, see if there's any suggestions.
Yeah, Zidane is
Um,
a good LB for sure.
yeah, Zidane. Zidane's definitely worth a consideration. Uh,
Right now, I'm looking Avalanche operatives to play off of Barrett.
oh yeah, because that's the thing is, I think I'm wondering if we you cut down the cloud, right, and then you
hmm
cut down maybe like the Cistane. Like Cistane's cute, but she just doesn't do much. She helps you storm off, but you're not storming towards anything, you know.
hmm
Um, so I'm wondering, what does Dio do again? Blocks for blocking 3,000. Yeah, no, terrible. Hmm. We've seen that Aerith. We've seen that Yuffie. There's probably not a reason to go for job soldier stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
If you're running more 2 drops, I would suggest Kate Sith.
Yeah, fair.
But no, you're right about Barrett. Like, I feel like there needs to be more
So what I did is I added Wedge and
avalanche.
so Opus 4 Wedge and
Mm.
Opus 1 starter Jesse into here because you can play Barrett, go free play Wedge, then free play the Wedge searches for another backup, and you can just play a Jesse.
Yeah.
I think the value off that is really solid.
Sorry,
And
you said
so
Opus 4 Wedge?
yes, the backup.
Well, because he would have to search. He'd have to search Barrett.
No. Oh,
Opus 4
forward, you're
Wedge?
right. Oh, forward.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Ooh, yeah. Well, that searches Barrett. Definitely Barrett. Yep.
At the very least, Barrett's E to B
Yeah.
search for an avalanche operative, cost 4 or less, put it onto the field. Let's say you grab.
Hmm.
I mean, hell, grabbing that Jesse's nice.
Still grabbing the Jesse is nice. Opus 1 Jesse that reduces the cost of a Barrett or Cloud. It makes any Cloud cost one less. The next Barrett
Yeah,
you play costs one less. That's good. Um,
yeah. But even just grabbing the 3-drop one, because 3-drop one just searches at almost any of your forwards.
mhm.
And it's also 2 plays off of Vincent. Well, no, he's in category 7 forward.
Well, you could also play Polk
Hulk.
instead of Wedge. He only has one card, I think, from Opus 18. He enters
Wait,
the
who
field,
has
search
Hulk?
one job Avalanche operative in your break zone, and grab it back to your hand. I
Oh
think
yeah.
that instead of Wedge would probably be good.
Yeah. And he has a break effect. Choose or give it 2K. Nio is definitely not worth it though.
Nio is not worth it. Nah, yo.
Nio.
If you're not storming his Chocolat and Sam worth playing, I think it is because you can just you can go backup into backup. Like that by
Yeah,
itself is still value.
it's just consistent backups. Because your other option is the
Especially
big
in a
thing is
deck
Chocobo
that's not
Sam.
doing a lot of things consistently.
Yeah, the big thing is Chocobo Sam is also he's a 7 character, which is nice. And being able to have access to Chocomog to grab the Moogle or Chocolatte or
Mhm.
Fat Chocobo is nice. To counter that, you could technically be running Norsthallen, because Norsthallen has a lot of good targets in Earth
Yeah.
specifically. Norsthallen can search Kolka, can search Kolka, can search Waltrill. She has, oh, when did I accidentally add 6-drop Cloud? She has a lot of targets, but I don't think it's worth. Just looking at all of our options. Specifically when it comes to Barrett, you know.
Yeah. I
Let's go to
kind of want to
Job
get rid of the
Avalanche
Warp
Operative.
Cloud and put in the 4-drop Earth Cloud, the Legend from Opus 14.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I'm definitely getting rid of that cloud. I'm just keeping it there so I have like a placeholder for something else.
That's fair.
But I think that's the play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. I would love to Barrett search Billy Bob, play Billy Bob.
That would be hilarious.
But you have no color fixing in this list.
That's well, okay, but here, so consider this: you put Billy Bob in, then you also put a one of Cloud in the LB.
Just like a 2. Yeah. It's also potential. I worry it's not consistent enough, but at the same time, does it need to be? I could have swore there was another one of those recent Avalanche operatives that like did something stupid, but I can't remember what it is. I'm wondering if it's worth it to run a one of 3-drop bigs off of, because if you search it off of Barrett, he costs 1. Well, you'd have to party attack, but draw a card, all forwards, gain can't be broken. Like that's pretty nice.
That's pretty solid. What card was that you saying?
You know, uh, Opus 15 starter wedge.
Oh, okay.
For a second, I was wondering if you could. One of the issues with Barrett is that you have to play it onto the field.
Yeah.
Search for one. Yeah, you have to play it onto the field. So he's only going to cost one anyway. So I think Marlene is definitely your go-to target. Oh, I need to bump up that Marlene. That Marlene's good. Also, it's an EX.
What, the old one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I actually
Cloud.
think I'm pretty settled on mine. There's not a
Really?
lot more I think needs to change.
Here, let me. Where's that Earth Cloud? That cloud is very annoying. Hell, even Light Cloud isn't too bad. Search for one cat. Wait, is it character? It is character. No, one, two, three. Let's try that out. And then where's the wind cloud? One, two, three. Oops, I accidentally deleted
I'm
the
almost
light cloud.
tempted to put a Hojo in as well.
Let me take a peek at Hojo.
Opus 14.
Choose one forward. Uh, Sack your Vincent, get back
Barrett.
Barrett.
That's pretty much what I'm thinking, yeah.
Sack Vincent, get back Zygon. Sack Barrett. Well, I wish he was instant speed. If he was instant speed, like, oh, you targeted Barrett? Well, he dies. Here's Zygon.
Yep. I kind of want to throw it in just to be cheeky.
So it's definitely not worth it to run. Yeah, no, it's definitely. I was debating on whether or not it was worth it to run. What's the silly card? I had a very silly card in mind. Cloud Pod.
I looked at that for a second. I thought about it, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It occurred to me. Kate Sith, the new Kate Sith from Opus 26 is the 25 is also pretty tempting. I
Yeah,
just
but
don't know what like how much it's not gonna get a lot of value because you only in my build I have 4 backups that are cost 2, and all 3 forwards that cost 2 are just Aerith. So
yeah, I had the same thought process.
I want it to be here and useful, but I just I can't justify it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem I'm finding with this deck before even playing it is just it doesn't feel like there's enough combo potential and enough explosiveness. It doesn't feel like and that's a category 7 problem. That's not a deck building problem necessarily. Is just
Yeah.
there is no clear goal for the deck. There's
Mhm.
no explicit win con. It's just here's a bunch of category 7 stuff with some synergy.
Yeah.
Let's see how we do. And it feels kind of like a trap. Um, but maybe there's some value in having a lot of conflicting stuff. The one thing that I do notice is there's a couple board wipes, but there's no Heck 5. I think we should have a Heck 5.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
We do need a Heck 5. And I actually think Shadow Lord should be replaced by a Heck 5. That's just me.
Really? No, I'm fine with Shadow Lord.
I don't hate the Shadow Lord, but I just think you only need so many board wipes.
True.
I mean, you have the Shantotto, either the backup or the LB. You have Shadow Lord
Yeah.
and you have Hack 5. Like,
Yeah. Well, I think part of the reason why Hack 5 works so well is that everything in your deck's like a 9K.
yeah, I
So
guess.
everything in it's definitely a one-sided board wipe unless they pile some damage on 2.
Fair.
I'm wondering if it's worth it to bump Hack 5 up to 2.
I bumped Sona. I actually am thinking about pretty hard about cutting the Sonon.
Really? Because like at least from what I get is like this person wants that sound to work. And whether or
Yeah,
not
for
that will
sure.
work is a good question. But
Hmm.
also, do either of the Moogles complement the colors?
I think the wind one produces Earth.
Yeah, when one produces Earth, but actually,
I don't think that's necessary though.
it's not. I keep thinking of Chocomog targets, but he's only running one Chocomog.
Yeah, well, it's just to search the Chocolat.
Yeah,
It's
or
aggro
Fat
backup.
Chocobo.
It's aggro. It's ramp aggro.
Yeah, that's actually why I put in Moogle third or Moogle 11.
Hmm. Interesting.
Especially if it's Moogle 11, you turn your Kusith into a demonic tutor. Like, there's. It's already a target off of Chocomog. It's a 2-drop backup, so you don't hate playing it. Yeah. But I'm at 17 backups. I feel like that's overkill.
I have 17.
You're at 17?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm at 17. The problem
Because
I
I'm
have
at.
again is like the deck doesn't have an explicit win condition.
Yeah, it's just build a big
And so
board,
it's
really.
building. It's just building with 7 synergy. I also don't want to take too much away from the theme of FF7, right? Like
Yeah.
Shadow Lord is already stretching. Heck 5 is well, all the summons are stretching. Um,
Yeah.
but then the backups I already spread out from that a bit. I added Tyro as a 2 of just because bursts are good. And the
Yeah,
color
Tyro's
fixing is
not bad.
nice if you don't have the Shantotto. LB I really messed with. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty locked in this one, I think.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Hmm. Because one of the things about Sid Highwind, and mind you, I already cut him down to one, but
Yeah,
he could technically search out a character and then the same character to special that other character,
this is true.
or rather forward.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure like what you would do with it too much.
Well, there's only looking at forwards with a special, it's Yuffie and Tifa,
Yeah,
and that's it.
yeah, and
Granted,
Yuffie,
Yuffie's
well,
got a really
Tifa,
friggin' good special.
yeah, and hell, if you, well, to be fair, so does Tifa, but Zon Zygon makes it easy, but you're right, Yuffie's is very good.
Yeah. So I think he's worth Sid is worth keeping at 1.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely not a 3 of.
Not at all.
One
Not that
Toto's
it's breaking the
fine.
bank, it's an 18-cent card,
Yeah,
but yeah, I think I'm settled on my build. And honestly, this
I
is
just think,
looking like a pretty cheap deck, all things considered. The
yeah,
the LB or the not the LB. Well, yes, the LB Cloud is like $8. Then the Forward Legend Cloud is like 14, $15 per listing. That's
yeah,
current listings. It's not recent sales. I'm not gonna check TCG Player, but players can negotiate. I know there's a few local players who have that card for sure. So yeah. Um, I think I think that is pretty much me here. I called it there.
yeah.
Um,
I think I wrapped up mine as well.
yeah, let me show yours on stream and then we can
Mm,
compare.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh wait, am I still missing an LB? One
Hmm.
sec. Nope, my LB's filled out.
You put the more expensive cloud in as one of.
Yep, 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 yep.
Okay. Um,
Uh,
yeah, that's not a bad option either. I actually do like that choice of the one light cloud. Perfectly
yeah.
acceptable. Um, you put your heck at 2, which I think is interesting. Um,
I just feel like having more board wipes is nice.
yeah,
If there were more character, if you had other forms of board wipe, because your main board wipes are Yuffie effect, Tifa effect, Heka, Toto, really. So I was kind of in the mindset of just like it probably doesn't hurt to have, and like I said, almost everything in the deck dodges Heka.
yeah,
So it's not too hard to play a Heka and really not feel bad about it.
yeah. No, that's totally fair. Yeah, I mean I went for a little more of a toolboxy build and you went for a little bit of a more consistent build. But even
Yeah.
then, my toolbox has a lot of name overlap, so like being able to search the Jesse, it's just choose your Jesse, basically. Um, I have Hojo, which Hojo is a cheeky card. It's fine. It's just one of those options. I don't think it's going to be a core strategy of the deck by any stretch of the imagination. Um, but yeah, you definitely just kept your ratios, and I played with stuff a little bit more based on what I
Yeah.
felt the importance of it was. Um, but that said, um, yeah, I think we can call this one wrapped up.
Yeah. Dope, dope, dope.
Not too bad, not too bad at all. All right,
There's
so the next deck in here.
Gujarug.
Now we go to Rosario.
Yep.
This one we have a
Copy.
mono ice. So Ty, you're
Ooh.
in your element,
I
literally
was
and
just thinking you
figuratively.
hear me rubbing my hands together.
Yeah, you're gonna start a fire. Watch out.
Yeah. Because like I'm seeing, I have some light opinions. I don't know how to feel about that EX Shiva. Um, I don't know how to feel about Cecil. I think in this build it could potentially work. Um, I just hate the fact that you have to discard a card to play
Mm-hmm.
him.
Yeah, because in
Um,
ice you don't really want to be getting rid of cards. You
yeah,
want to
you need to
stay
hold
ahead
on
of
to
your
your
opponent.
card advantage as much as possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So let's open up this thing. Let's look at every ice card in the game, like I usually do. And also he's running 3 5-drop Kuja, which I think is not great. Um, I think that Kuja is very, how do I put it, laborious. Removing an ice pack if you control, it's not bad. I like that. That's fine, but I don't think it's realistic. Like that's the thing is you don't. Oh, he's also running one Unalaska. That in this build you definitely want to be running 3 of that.
Yeah,
Um,
especially with multiple
not even.
Emina. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if you want to run. Well, Sidwalk might be worth it. You sail, like so. My main issue with ice has always been that if you want to play a low to the ground build, one of the things that you have to recognize is you are going to run out of gas like 3 turns in.
Yeah.
You need to win by then, or you need to have them also out of gas. So then
Mm-hmm.
you're in a top deck mode because you
Yeah.
don't mind a top deck mode, but it's about staying there is the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple cards here that I can see that I'm like, I don't know if that's great. Like, I'm not too sure about three, three Cecil or 3 Sephiroths. You probably, especially if you're discarding this much, you probably want Shantotto at 3. Um, Rufus at 3 is fine. Rug is also an interesting choice because obviously Rug Rufus is really good. But there's no other cards that are getting good value off of attacking.
Yeah.
Like Rug Rufus is good. Rug Laswell's fine. But like you don't really care about like Rug Charlotte, you know? You don't care about Rug
Yeah.
Kuja or Rug Yashtola.
What are your
Um
thoughts on having Griever and Ultimisia and Sarah Mobius in here?
my issue with I'll have to look at Sarah Mobius again, but my issue with specifically Griever and Ultimisia is that Griever needs reactivation. That was the thing that made Griever so
That's right.
good.
That's right.
So if you want to like this deck, I mean honestly, this deck could probably pivot to a prison deck pretty easy, but I don't think it's worth. Um, and then what was that last card that you said again?
Sarah Mobius,
Sarah Mobius. Which one?
the ice one.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, the 2-drop one. Yeah. Same issue as what am I thinking? Griever is you want to be able to untap her, or you want to be able to tap her and untap her multiple times in a turn.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair.
you want to be able to attack stuff like. And it's funny because Sarah Mobius was kind of a Unilite in a lot
Yeah.
of ways. Um, But let's see. I'm looking through ice cards right now. Um,
I kind of like the new Star Sybil for this deck as well.
the new star symbol would be interesting entirely because if your goal is to keep the opponent as few cards as possible, that is pretty nice because you
Hmm.
are kind of forcing someone to stay at that low card advantage with you
Yeah.
of just like, oh, you're targeting my stuff, you're getting rid of my stuff, well, you're also discarding. Like
Hmm.
one of Star Sybil probably wouldn't be terrible. It might even be worth taking out a Ysayle for because I think Ysayle is mainly there to set up Rufus Rug. But I'm just not sure how much you care about it, I guess. I also feel like we need to bounce Unalesca up to 2, Lufenia down to 2 or 1, maybe. Same with Sedwaf. Like 11 backups, I think, is fine in this deck. You're not aiming to hit a lot of backups. You're trying to keep them at low, or you're trying to keep their advantage as low as possible.
Yeah, that's fair.
But let's see. Oh, I mean, if you're running Rug, you could probably run Sephiroth with that too. You know, you don't have a lot of stuff that has first strike. Well, actually, wait. Rug gives stuff first strike.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, at that point, yeah, you probably just want to double down a little bit more. So we would probably take out all 3 of those Sephiroth. We put in 3 of the new Sephiroth. Because
Oh yeah.
he's another Rufus in the deck, like
Yeah, the
straight
four
up.
drop. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep the hand trap at one of.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a hand trap, you know.
It's still a hand trap.
Yeah, I took it out, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm probably gonna circle around and put it back in at least at 1 because I'm just looking at some other cards. I'm like, I don't know if these things need to be here. I still don't know how to feel about that Cecil. As a field, you may receive 1 point of damage. When you do so, choose 2 characters, dull and freeze them. Like that. That's good. You take a point of damage.
Yeah, problem is there's not a lot of bursts in the deck to take advantage of if you hit them off of that damage.
Yeah, you're hoping to hit Matthias or Shiva, really.
Yeah. I'm also
But
gonna
at that
cut the
point,
Argath. It's
yeah,
it's a fun card. It's just not. It doesn't have the legs that it once potentially even had. I don't even know if it did. The card ever have legs, Ty? I don't remember you really using that except for when Thaumaturge got banned.
Argath was really good pre Opus 5.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He's a really solid card pre Opus 5. And I think he was arguably pretty good throughout probably through like Opus 8. But that's the
Hmm.
thing is he's just the worst thaumaturge. You have the
Yeah.
name conflict. If he was a knight, that card would be super playable, but he's not a knight.
Mm,
So that's where he lands in that kind of
perfectly
gay baby
understandable.
jail. Yeah. Ooh, all right. What else? I'm trying to find more just like low to the ground things that you would like to have in this deck.
I kind of want to put in the new Kadaj as well.
Let me reread him. Um, remove him from the play. Uh, I mean, 3 drop 9K can't block, but you don't really care about that. Um, hmm. I wasn't kind of looking at that wall, you know. 3 drop 9K. But you discard 2. Cripshay is such a funny card.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah, like it looks naked. Well, it is naked, but it looks. I can't stop as I scroll through. I keep like looking back at its art.
Yeah. Honestly, if you wanted to play a little bit with that Sephiroth, that's also not a bad include as first strike.
Oh, that Sephiroth only cares about soldiers, doesn't
Uh,
he?
no. When a forward with a first strike, you would control attacks. Your opponent discards a card.
Oh yeah, it does get first strike. Huh. Huh.
Oops.
So they discard, and then they basically have to block it. I just wish that it had the Mandragora Death Touch, honestly. But even that would be a really funny play. Wait a second. Wait, I might be cooking. One sec. That'd be
Here we
really
go,
funny
baby.
with Rug. You play Rug. You play your turn one. You play Rug. You play Cripshay. Cripshay is immediately a forward because of its effect.
Oh, you give it
You swing
haste.
with a Rug. You give it haste. You swing with it, and then it dies. You deal your opponent a point of damage, and they discard two.
Kind of harsh.
That is okay. Wait, wait a second. We might be cooking. We might be cooking. Uh oh, that's funny. That's really funny. Ugh. All right, I put Crochet at two.
Okay.
Because that is really funny. What else in the deck is first strike? Is the other question.
Everything with rug.
Uh, yeah. Also, I feel like there's something missing in the backup lineup, and I'm trying to remember what it is.
Where's text? Where's the text field?
Yeah, Heretical Knight's there. You don't want Kate Sith. Do the hunt.
Ice cards with
Come
first
up, don't
strike.
do anything.
Okay, hold on here. Okay, no, no, no. Huh? Proto Falsi Adam has can conditionally give first strike to your stuff.
I forgot about that card. Because I don't want to say I tried to make it work, but I remember I kind of tried to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I first saw it, I was like, this card's crazy. And then now I'm just like, this card's ass. I'm also wondering if it's worth running Biblos.
Hmm. I always think
Maybe as a
about it.
one
It's
of.
always, I mean, there's so many good ice monsters.
Yeah, it's also searchable off of Emina.
Mm-hmm. Ice monster.
Yeah. I
I think
definitely want to
Gimme
put that
Cat is
Kuja down
also
to
worth
one.
running, maybe as a one of.
It's an alternate to Unalesca.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um, the only issue is it can't clear dead rugs out of your hand, but I don't think you super care about that.
Oh
Yeah,
wait,
Gimme
it's just
Cat's
ice
definitely an
card.
option.
Yeah, yeah, never mind. I was thinking of it as a vector for getting rid of rugs.
Yeah. But I mean, that's why you run three Una, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Biblos. I think this deck needs to run Biblos. Yeah, I think you just need to run Biblos. Because this is just such an aggro list. Like, you want Biblos there to just start delving and freezing forwards. It's the fact that I could choose forwards means that it doesn't interact with, uh, who am I thinking of? Uh, the backup, Yagrash. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you had another Final Fantasy Tactics character to play Agrius off of.
I think I want to get rid of the Cecil.
Uh huh.
and include Pisco Demon and Biblos.
Pisco is. Let me reread Pisco because I
Pisco
think from
Damon,
what I
sorry,
remember,
not
that's probably not a bad idea.
yeah.
Because I remember that card has a crazy on break effect because it's similar to that. It was part of that that cycle with Bahamut, right?
Um, no, it
Or
was
not Bahamut, Behemoth,
Behemoth, correct? Yeah, the
the
on
on attack.
Behemoth, the Marlboro, that stuff.
That yeah, that Pisco Demon. That Pisco Demon's pretty good, and you have a fair amount of haste in this list.
Yeah, so you just slam stuff, swing, pop the Pisca Demon, dull and freeze two things,
Yeah,
and like if you have Sephiroth, then they discard. Like you can stack stuff for sure.
I mean, hell, you even just let's say they have one card in hand, right? You have Pisco Demon out. You play Y'shtola. Y'shtola has haste.
Mm-hmm.
Swing with Y'shtola. Pisco Demon Dolan freezes two things, and then you kill the third. You're getting rid of three blockers on one Y'shtola swing.
Yep. Like I feel like there's potential there to goof around with.
Yeah.
I feel like though it could probably does it replace the Biblos or go alongside it? It's tough. I think we get rid of the two drop EX burst Shiva.
Yeah. I'm looking at other summons that could replace that, but I think you're right. Like I just don't think um it's a cute card, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just a worse Matthias, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
Yeah. I also put in the Shiva that reduces itself to free if a forward is entered this turn for ice.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's actually really important.
I
Good,
think that one's
good
a
grab.
very useful cheeky card.
Oh, especially in this list. Especially the fact that it replaces itself. I think reasonably lightning could go down to one.
Yeah, but
You're
you don't have
switching
it
it
when
off
you
of.
want it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
actually, you know
But
what?
my
Hold on. Hold on. That's why we put a snow in the LB.
yeah, I was thinking about that too. Because I was thinking about putting Surges down to two. Because as someone who plays a shit ton of ice, I think I've had one game where I played Surges three times.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I never play three because that's the thing is Victoria is just such a good card. Kuja's pretty decent. Heretical
Yep.
Knight Garland I think is going to be pretty good. So yeah, that's a good idea. Let's switch
Yeah.
over Snow. Get over here, Snow. You're not a summon. Boop.
The other question is does backup snow matter? I don't think it's worth it.
No, I don't think so. I think that card is too old at this point.
Yeah, with the amount of
Um,
forwards that are doing the dull and freeze work at this rate, yeah. Yeah, I
looking at
think
summons again,
this
and I have to say you just nailed it with the free Shiva.
yeah, for sure. I think
That's all this list
honestly, I
needed.
think this deck is actually very, very scary. I would hate to face this down.
Yeah,
Like this,
I
this
mean,
actually, this person kind of cooked. Like they needed a little bit of assistance there. But
uh,
like,
yeah, there's some cooking here, and also like I don't know the Cripshay Sky Serpent or Cripshay rug is really
yeah,
funny in my opinion.
I think there's a lot of like freaky, weird plays available here. Like, there's the
Yeah,
goofy combo potential is all over the place with this deck, and that's not an insult. That's a good thing.
yeah,
Like, there's just such there it, like it's just slam any two cards in one turn and just see what happens, you know? Like I
yeah,
like this, and I don't want to face this at locals.
yeah. Here, I think I'm still debating cutting the lightning down to one. I'm still debating it.
I left it at two. Um, I
I
have
don't
all the
hate it at
monsters
two.
at two. Biblos, Piscademon, and Cripshay. I have
Yeah,
seven summons. Um, one is just a BM summon, and the others are actual like useful stuff.
yeah.
Um,
Here, one second. Let me see your summons. Shiva. Oh, Mataus.
yeah, Mateus, FFTA, like straight up
I,
just
I,
like pay two, freeze all their backups. Like that's kind of rude depending on the deck.
yeah, depending on the deck. I think if you had something like, I think, well, to be fair, I think it's discussing with Charlotte.
Hmm.
Um, Also, I see you move Charlotte down to 2.
Yeah, it's just it costs 5, and the deck tries to rely on aggro.
Yeah,
Um, like it doesn't seem like she fully fits the strategy, but she's definitely a really good card worth keeping.
yeah, I agree. I'm personally keeping her at 3 only because I think a turn 1 Charlotte is still like really strong.
Oh yeah, no
Um,
doubt.
yeah. Also, I feel bad because he specifically named the deck Kuja Rug, and I want to completely get rid of the Kuja. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, this
Yeah,
card.
well, I think the Kuja, the one of Kuja is definitely one of those cards that I think is worth having it one of as a utility
Mhm.
card, like
Yeah,
depending on the matchup. But I I just don't think that this Kuja is part of the strategy overall. It's just, yeah,
yeah, I
nice to have.
agree.
Moving on.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I put it down to 1 as well.
yeah. I mean, because again,
Looking
like
at your
everything else in the
list,
deck has so much more utility up front. Kuja is one of those cards that like you tech it at a you play it for the tech in a moment where you need it. Otherwise, it doesn't really do anything.
yeah,
Like if you're playing against mono fire, where everything is targeting, then oh yeah, no, you just play this because then they have to discard everything.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's not
true.
a Cecil pay, it's not a Cecil tax or a unitax where you pay like you tap
Mhm.
a backup or two. This is
Yeah,
discard a card. Like that's rough.
yeah.
That really sets back a lot of decks, especially Fire, who wants to be gripping cards.
Mhm.
So
Here.
yeah, but
I think I'm done with
okay.
mine. Let me save it really quick. Oop, that's the control panel.
Oh no, Ty, that my SSD is filled in 126 hours.
Oh no.
Are we gonna stream for 6 days
Save.
straight?
I
Five
mean, we
days
can
straight?
try. Here, you can refresh. I just saved it.
Okay. Oop. Okay. So comparing to mine, we look very similar. The Sid Randall I like.
Yeah.
Um,
I gotta. What can I say? I
I
gotta.
know it's you. It's you we're talking about. You put that in place
Yeah.
of the Mateus, which is perfectly fine. Pisco Demon at 1, which is interesting. I don't think your odds of ever hitting it or playing it are really high off that, but you did keep the
Yeah.
Charlotte at 3. Um,
I view Pisco Damon as kind of like a win harder card.
yeah,
Like
I think it could be a game turner.
I think you wanna I think you want to play it when you're swinging out. Like
Yeah.
drawing it early, it's not great.
Hmm.
Like you don't really want to put the 2 mana into it when you can put the 2 mana into a last spell, or you can put the 2 mana into like a Sid Reigns, or
Hmm.
you can put the 2 mana into like anything else. So I was like at 1, oh they have 3 forwards up. What do I do? It's like, oh, I drew Pisco Demon, played Pisco Demon, swing.
Yeah. I think our LBs are identical. Yes, they
Yeah,
are.
I think they are 100% identical. I can't
Yeah,
imagine.
our
Yeah,
main deck is super similar. We only really differ in ratios for monsters, ratios for forwards, plus your Sid Randell, and our summons are very close as well. We have the same number of summons, but
mm,
yours are a little bit more narrowly saturated, which is obviously you know more about ice than I do, but
yeah.
again, like I like to have options.
Mm.
But I mean, we're pretty damn close with each other on this one, which is odd because I don't even play ice.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So
he gave us a solid list.
yeah, there's not
Um,
a lot to change here for sure.
there's really not a lot to change. I think, and even then, I still feel a little weird about getting rid of Cecil.
Yeah,
Um, like Cecil's a pretty decent card.
it could be a one of.
Yeah,
It could be a one of. Depends. Depends how hard the person wants to like play with their Cecils, right? If they have them.
yeah,
But on the upside, it's a super cheap card. So if you actually, honestly, if they don't want to get their hands on Rufus for $36 a pop,
yeah.
um,
You just run the
just
Cecil
run the
instead.
Cecil instead. Not gonna shame you for that.
Yeah,
But this one was a pretty easy modification for us, I think. This is a quick and easy
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Good
I mean,
build
that's
to
what
start
happens
with.
Yeah, the list was mostly built, like it's that's what Fix It. These are my favorite things on Fix It Friday. You're giving us a barely broken toaster, and we're just like,
Yeah, you
we
forgot to
thought about
plug it
X, Y,
in.
and Z.
That's pretty much all it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. You heard plug it in, or like, oh, you need to put toast into it.
Yeah. Well, you don't put toast in a toaster.
No, no, no. Keep that away from the best.
Toasters, toast.
Toast
No,
is
it's
toast,
toasted bread,
toast.
you idiot. All right. Move on now to the first one that Nick submitted.
Small
Nick
stuff.
D. Small stuff.
Small stuff. Small stuff.
And
Small stuff.
this is very similar to the old Ice Lightning stuff build.
But not turning
Um,
Zodiac.
so let's see what we can do here.
Still don't know how to feel about that Zodiac.
Yeah, that Zodiac has me kind of unsure about some things. I just like people are valuing it really high, and I don't know. I don't know yet, man.
Like it's just the fact that it has haste is nice, and the idea is that it's just like, oh well, you do it off of Sleipnir and you do stuff. Oh wait, one sec, let me get a copy. Why is this labeled EX Burst? Oh, there's 20 EX Burst in this deck. Hello.
All the summons, every single summon is a burst.
Oh, a lot of the
Um,
backups too.
bunch of the backups, most of the backups are
Yeah.
bursts.
Honestly, I don't really want to touch this backup lineup.
I mean, I kind of want to put in Emina and Unalesca, and like that's it. But even then, it's
Uh,
too slow for the deck. Like this looks aggro.
yeah. Yeah, that's my reasoning too. Because the only other argument to run what's her face Emina is to search. Blah, blah. She searches Charlotte, Laswell, and Physalis.
This is true.
Um, but she also searches Kate Sith, but you already have a searcher for Kate Sith. She searches Cisne,
That said, I think the Reeve
which
can go
President
to
Shinra
2,
searches.
and you can put in like a single Emina.
Yeah, yeah, you could recently run a single Emina.
Like
The only problem
14
is she's not an
backups is
EX
still a
burst.
pretty good count, especially with your searching all of them so much. Like
Yeah.
President Shinra is searching Cisne, Reeve is searching Kate Sith, Restrictor is searching Nero, who searches Weiss. Like,
Also, shouldn't Serum be at 3?
oh yeah, no, 100%.
Am I being silly? Oh, because I'm like looking at that, I'm like, that doesn't look right.
No, I wanna bump the Zodiac to 2 because there's
I want to
not as
start.
many outlets to get rid of a dead card in the deck.
Yeah, I want to actually look at what are our other options in Dark, because I think there's at least some functionality with like Sleipnir, right?
Yeah.
Because you play Sleipnir,
I mean,
draw
people are
cards,
trying
blah
to
blah
make it
blah.
with Turbo Odin, and I
Yeah.
think that isn't.
Wait,
I don't think that's a terrible idea, but I don't think it's for this deck.
it's not. Something that I thought was kind of funny is uh would that work? One second. Let me read something really quick. I don't think it would work. My super silly idea with Sleipnir. Oh no, it doesn't work. My silly idea with Sleipnir is that you run it alongside what's the card? Oh, 4-drop Kadaj.
Oh
Where if
yeah,
you're
because you just
entering and
play,
re-entering, the issue is
but it's
Kadaj enters
but
at the
yep,
end of the
yep.
opponent's turn.
It's not the timing of it is awkward. Yeah, it doesn't work quite that way. Yeah, I'm gonna be trying to see if Sleipnir can work in my Odin deck, because that deck really has a lot of strength as it is, but we'll see. As for this deck, I actually kind of want to cut the Physalis, but she is
It's
an
another
outlet
night
for a
for
dead dark
Laswell.
card.
Is an outlet. That is also true. Physalis is an outlet for dead dark cards.
I also put in an Angeal because you have your restrictors. Angeal can just break stuff if you have him and restrictor, which is super cool. 4-drop or less. That's a lot of cards in the game in the meta right now. Um, I just don't. I want Angeal at 2. I just don't know if I want to get rid of anything to make it fit. That's why I'm kind of like I want to get rid of the Visalis, but she has value. I don't want to get rid of the Vincent because he has good value. All the other forwards here have good value. Like maybe Lightning could go to 1. I don't know.
Mhm.
Like
Also, how do you feel about instead of Zodiac, we run Vegnagun?
um let me fully reread the Vegna real quick.
You would have to run it at 3, but it's a 4-drop
Yeah.
10k
Search for
that
Vegnagun,
replaces
add to deal
itself.
dull, discard a card, activate it, discard a card, draw 1 card. Remove 2 Vegnagun from the break zone, break all the forwards opponent controls. It's ambitious.
It
No
is, but my
doubt.
reasoning behind it is okay. So I have Vengavun and Sleipnir on field, right?
Sure.
Um, Sleipnir already got his 3k haste, right?
Yeah.
So I'm blocking. They kill Vengavun. Vengavun
Vegnagun,
dies.
yeah.
I replace it. Sleipnir gets his 3k back. He's now a 2-drop 8k blocker. Ooh, he suggested Drace. Drace is probably not a bad idea.
Drace is solid. Drace is
At least as a
definitely
one of.
solid. Yeah, search for 1 forward of cost 2. Yeah. That's not bad at all.
If only he was an EX.
Right?
Wondering if
I
it's
think the
worth
Kate
it
Sith can be
putting.
1. It's not, I mean, it's not the end of the world if you don't get it.
I'd actually probably put the President Shinra to 1. It only has 1 target.
Sure, but you want to guarantee that you'll hit that target. And if you hit a burst, it can also search. No, it doesn't search anything else, really. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. That was 1 target.
Yeah, that's my reasoning. Let's see.
Technogun is really tempting, actually, with this. I see where you're going with that. I kind of
Yeah.
like it.
Because that's the thing is Zodiac is just for Ice and Lightning, 2 colors that don't get that do not have any sort of card advantage. Having a dark card that can cycle through itself and also be a potential board wipe to push for game.
Yeah, yeah.
It also just keeps everything in the list like such low cost of just
Mm-hmm.
you keep everything at a clean 4, you know.
Yeah. Like this
Your
deck,
Odins
I
are
feel
kind of an
like this deck
exception, but
loses kind of hard to Earth
Mhm.
because they can just RFG the Vegnagun. They can like cancel a bunch of stuff. They can play around stuff and board wipe easily, but
yeah.
at the same time, this still has legs for sure. I'm gonna do that. Actually, just kidding. I'm gonna do that. There we go.
I mean, at the very least, it's going to be very fun. Let's see. Looking over. Oh, LB is like perfect,
Yeah,
actually.
LB is great. I'm not touching the LB. Like that's fine. Shuyin searches what
Yeah.
it needs to search. Heretical Knight Garland. I think the Heretical Knight Garland can go down to 1 and put Victoria at
Down to
2.
1. Put in.
Or put
Yeah,
Surges in,
Victoria to
maybe.
2 or put in a Surges. You definitely don't want to run Kamlanot though. Kamlanot's so. Um,
Yeah, Adam,
the
roast
reason I
Ty
picked
for his pronunciation of words. Let's go.
shut
I
up.
need backup in this.
Boonavels. The reason I picked
Boonavels, he
Zodiac
gets it.
is because it has haste and it has a bunch of cheap, efficient bodies to park off Zodiac. Um, I
Like I
don't
get where
know
you're
because like
going with it. I just don't know if it's gonna have the legs that you want it to. That said,
the
go ahead, Ty.
go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say it's just removing your own forward in a list that doesn't have a lot of advantage is my issue. Um,
Well, the other side of that is that you like say for example you play Sleipnir and then you play the Zodiark, right? Like you swing with the Sleipnir, then you use the Zodiark ability to sack a forward, and then later you can play another one. Like it gets rid of a card that's dead on field. Or like Al Cid, you want to play another Al Cid? Just break the Al Cid after it swings and then play another one.
yeah,
Like
I get that. It's the fact that it costs 6 on top of that
it's
is my
so
issue.
expensive. I feel like Ice Lightning doesn't have the luxury of being able to like just drop like 2 or 3 really expensive things a turn.
Yeah.
Um, but again, the Vegna gun can always be switched out, right? Like there's
Yeah.
nothing saying you have to go explicitly with our version. Um, the Xenos
Warren.
Warren, I don't think is worth it because, um, I mean, how do I put it? It's not a bad card. It would be a fair enough replacement for the Vegna gun.
Mhm,
I don't know if it's a card that you'd be glad to have, but also Vegna gun lets you get rid of extras of itself.
mhm.
So that's huge.
Yeah.
The 2-drop Dark CP Illua, on the other hand,
I like
let's
that
take a
both
look at
of
that
those.
one.
I do like the fact that Xenos can replay himself. However, you don't have an easy way of discarding him outside of Physalis.
Exactly. If you get more
Um,
copies, you're just hosed. Um,
and being able to, mind you, being able to kill 3-drop is really nice. Um, you can just use raw law. I get that, but the issue is that I think you need dark to use the Sleipnir. Like you would cut the Sleipnir and just run other stuff.
yeah.
Though I do wish that the list had a way to like if you ran raw law, I would like you have Matthias to doll it, but actually I wonder.
Which
I'm
one is
seeing if you have
Rala?
any of it's the light forward. I'm wondering if you have
Oh,
other ways. When your opponent discards, oh, that's kind of funny. When all said, her nice forward, she's up so forward on a light. Ooh, wait, wait a second. Hold on. There is something really funny here.
okay.
So you play Rollo, right?
Okay.
And you have Alcid on field, right? You attack with Alcid. You choose Rala, Dull, break something. Pay 2, activate. Swing with Sleipnir, Dull, Rala, break something.
Hmm.
Swing with Lightning, Alcid effect, Lightning effect on stack. You Dull Rala, you pay 2 to activate it. You pay the 1 to Lightning to dull it.
That's cheeky.
That. But would it work is the
It
question. And
feels
then
so
also
conditional.
at that point, you're also just you're cutting Sleipnir.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like it's too conditional.
Yeah,
Um,
you know what? I think it's I don't want to say it has legs, but I think it's funny. I'll put it that way. I think it's very funny. Um, like to do that with Rollo would be hilarious.
yeah.
And then also every time you make the opponent discard, Weiss would be able to dull it and freeze it. You pay 2, you break something. Hmm.
All right, well, I think I'm good to call mine ready. Also need Sid Waff. I don't think this deck really, well, maybe. I don't know if this deck cares too much about the Sid Waff.
Stuff's
Um,
nice, but you're not running Emina. You're not running an easy way to search
I
it.
mean, I'm running
You'd
a one of
prefer.
Emina, but I don't know. Like, what do you take out for it, right? Like a Kate Sith or like a restrictor? I don't know.
That's the thing about this lineup specifically is that the backup lineup's pretty solid, or it's pretty tight.
Like, you
You're
don't
running
want
a
to
fair
screw
amount
with
of
the
EX
consistency too
bursts.
much. That said, this is aggro, and it
Yeah.
does have the potential to lose to bursts. I don't hate the Sid Waff play. I don't. I almost feel like it should replace the Drace. I feel like Drace can come out and we can put in 2 Sid Waff. Or 2 Emina. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. All right, well, mine's ready.
I think mine's ready too. I think this is another one that ours are going to look. Oh wait, I'm at 51 cards.
No, you're not ready.
All right, now I'm ready. I put Sleipnir to 2.
Okay. You rename
I think
yours?
our lists are gonna look. Oh wait, no, I didn't. It's like
Rename it,
small
fool.
stuff version.
This friggin' guy.
Save, save, save.
Okay. So I threw the Angeal in. I lowered
Hey,
the
I'm gonna look at
Vincent count
yours.
for it. You put in. No, that's literally it for the forwards. Yeah, that's it for the forwards. You kept the summons identical. I reduced the 9-drop Odin by 1.
Mhm.
Your backups were, but we both have 14 backups. You kept Kate Sith at 2. I put it at 1 and put a Sid Waff
Yeah,
in with 2 Emina.
yeah,
1 Drace, 1 President Shinra for you, 1 President Shinra for me, 3 Nero, 3 Reeve. I put Reeve at 2, kept Restrictor at 3. Yeah, our backups are pretty close. Yeah, these decks are pretty close for us as again.
yeah, yeah.
Once again.
I mean, it's the same thing where there's already a solid base. It just needed tuning.
All right, Ty, you ready for another ice deck or ice lightning?
Am I? Oh my God! There is another ice lightning.
Yep.
Okay.
Yuki has provided us with a another Cat 7 Ice Lightning deck. This one's got a little bit of a different spin on it though.
Where is Reno?
Well, I suspect there's a few characters that aren't in the deck yet.
Yeah. All right. Copy.
That said, I think the heavy armored soldier can get the hell out.
Look at him. Search for one standard unit.
It does. It searches for a forward is the problem. So your
Yeah,
only
search for
target in
GG
this deck
sniper.
is the DG sniper, the deep ground soldier sniper.
Yeah. You know, we could cut
Um,
those.
it dulls and freezes on ETB, but there's nothing to free play it with, so it's not really worth it. I don't think.
Yeah.
Um, I do like the Shulk. However, I think there's a better Shulk to play here.
Forwards. That Shulk does not have anything to play. I should warn you. If you're thinking of the Shulk that I am.
Well, not yet. It doesn't.
True.
Whoops. Did not mean to click that. Because the new Reno costs 2.
Oh yeah, the new Reno does. All right, yeah. First of all, we have to correct the issue of not having a Reno in this list.
For sure. I put the new one in just for the sake of it being the new one.
Yeah.
Rude definitely needs to go in. Um, the other side is that the new Shulk has a special to cancel autos, and it cancels any number of autos on the special. Like that's really good. That is really good.
Oh, there needs to be more ice backups in here. One second.
Yeah.
I'm still processing some of these cards because I'm like reading them. Not for the first time, but it's just like, wait, I think I know what you do.
Yeah, Shulk blocks, I guess. The Vincent is cheeky. I like that. Um,
Yeah.
Shulk, yeah, the thing is, this Shulk only has 1 target currently. I also took out the 5-drop Zac, yeah, Zac, because I think it's just too slow and expensive.
Yeah. It costs
Um,
3. Fill the breakstone. The cat 7. Main target's Sephiroth. Or the other Zach. Yeah, it's a little laborious, I guess. I'd probably bump that Sephiroth up to 2. I also want to redo the summons.
Yeah, I'm redoing the summons right now. What do I even want to do with the summons?
Yeah, like that
Um,
Shiva. That Shiva's never going to
yeah, the
see the
free
alternate
Shiva, the
cost.
one-drop Shiva, for sure.
So I think you want to Shiva.
The monsters also give me a bit of pause.
Actually, I think you mainly want Matos in this one. Let me reread the monsters. I don't think Monthflesher needs to be here. It's an aggro card. It's a 7 card. That's nice, but I don't
Yeah,
think
I
it
don't think the
does
Moth
too
Slasher is
much.
gonna do anything here.
It does trigger Zac, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And also, oh, that well, it plays them back out. That's not terrible. At the very least, I want to get rid of the Scorpion Sentinels. Actually, let me reread it because that actually might synergize with.
I think it's a defensive card.
When a forward the opponent controls attacks, choose one. Forward the opponent controls dull until end of turn. It's a 7. I mean, with wait, I never put the Renos in. It's like 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Mm,
With Reno, um, it's interesting, right?
yeah.
It's like let me put one Scorp, but I don't think you need. Well, obviously you can't run it at more than 3, so it's probably worth running at 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because even that makes Reno let it block up to 11k. Like, you don't care about giving something haste.
Yeah. You mentioned something about not wanting meta Turks, but it could. Yeah, no, I mean that's fair. I mean there have been like aggro meta Turks. Um, like there have been Turks decks that have like topped in tournaments and gotten like top like they've I think one of them won a couple tournaments in Europe. There have been some that have topped in America.
Mhm.
Um, like there's
Uh, if
there's there's Turks that do work. They do aggro
if
for
we
sure.
if we wanted it to be meta, we'd be running 3 Rufus.
Yeah, it'd be Rufus. It'd be like multicolor Sephiroth. All like at 3. I know she only has one.
Okay,
Um,
okay, I'll put that back to 1 then.
yeah, I think that's the reason. I think she ordered a bunch and they didn't all make it there or something. I don't remember the reason. Um, pretty sure it's because she only has one. Um, I think Johnny is fine. Barlai is okay. Uke, I don't want the Uke here. I don't think it
Yeah, I
works.
got rid of Uke.
I think we
I
can
think
just
it's worth getting rid of Celeste.
I'm overhauling the backups as well. Um, because Yuki is a new player who doesn't know what's out there. Yuki
Yeah,
doesn't know how good it can be yet.
yeah.
So I think there's a lot of available backups that can do some work here. Um, so whoops, that's not what I meant to type. There we go. Kate Sith. Um, do we run? I don't think we run President Shinra because it's kind of an expensive card and there's not a ton of them out there.
He searches. One sec.
Like, what's the card going for right now? Like a $6 card. That's not bad.
Wait, for real? Damn.
That's, I mean,
It was a
this is
that
the
card
estimates
started
for TCG player
Yeah.
on Materia Hunter. I mean, the current listings there are none. Um, there are foils available for like $16, but recent sales show non-foils being sold for yeah like $5 $6 in there roughly,
Mhm.
so that's cool. um Seymour I think we cut for sure from the forwards.
I don't hate it. Being able to just kill something.
Well, yeah, but you
It's
need 6
nice.
summons in the break zone.
You need 3 summons in the break zone.
It's only 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, get your President Shinras while you can, guys.
Yeah, apparently. It's
Oh,
kind
the
of funny, actually.
second ability is the one that costs a bunch. Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other
I'm,
thing though, is that like this is kind of an aggro list, looks
mm,
like. So I still hesitate with the Seymour, but
yeah. But that's the thing is I'm cleaning it up to put a little bit more ice into the backups because the backup line up is mostly lightning. Um, let's see. Amino searches Kate Sith. I put in Reeve because Reeve searches Kate Sith. Put Barrel Eye down to 1. One sec. Let me look at that small stuff list again.
yeah, it's pretty much like we just want to take a few things from that. Um,
It might be worth running Sidwoff.
yeah, we'll see, Warren. We'll see. I'm throwing in Behemoth because with Cisne,
Yeah,
it gets kind
it
of
is pretty
gross.
disgusting with the snake.
Like Cisne, okay, swing with Reno, swing Cisne, pop Behemoth. Okay, swing with Rude, swing Cisne, Behemoth, she does too. Like you just
Yeah,
keep hitting face and like it's potentially an OTK.
yeah. Oh wait, what does the new Elena do?
Oh, the new Elena, you're right. Yeah, that's a good question.
Haste potentially costs free.
Yeah?
Probably worth at least a one of. Also, probably worth running one Sang.
Ooh, Spectral Keeper, Warren. You, my man, you
Ooh,
you like you
actually,
like naming cards that I enjoy.
so yeah, Spectral's not too bad.
Spectral Keeper's a good
Spectral's
card.
not too bad at all.
And it's a dirt
Even
cheap
just as
card,
a
it's
one of.
25 cents.
Yeah,
New Elena's basically always free.
yeah. She's gonna be free more often than she won't.
Yeah.
I still need ice backups. One sec.
I'm gonna put Sid Waff in here for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I'm just looking at other targets and other options, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't see a reason not to run Sid Waff, you know?
Yeah.
Ooh, musician?
Musician. Ty's talking about musician. The hell do you do? Uh, eh, I don't hate it. I think it's a good one of.
Because my yeah, it's probably not a bad one of. That's the thing is I think you want your backup lineup to be more of like a box, you know.
Yeah.
I'm still debating whether or not I want to keep that Johnny in. Because to be fair, he always costs not a lot.
Well, he always gets you a character back for sure.
Yeah,
And
he
it's
always costs
character,
two
which I think is better
technically.
than the Barreleye getting you only a forward.
Yeah,
Like if you want to get a monster back, just do it.
yeah. So I'm wondering, debating running Emina.
I put Emina in. She's 2.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. Because I'm gonna search Sidwoff, search musician, search Cisnade, get the
Mm-hmm.
OTK ready.
Um,
Still debating whether or not I want to keep the Moth Slasher.
I took the Moth Slasher out.
My only reasoning with it is Zack, because whenever Zack attacks, you just play the Moth Slasher back out.
I guess.
But at that point, because it's the fact that Zack has to target Cat 7 of cost 2,
Mm-hmm.
Because your options there are relatively limited to Reno and Cisne. That gives you an option for. You also have Scorpion, Sentinel, and Moth Slasher as options. So that's my point: is Moth Slasher will constantly replace itself. Zac plays out another one. It has multiplay. I definitely want to put that Seymour down to 1. So I want to put that Shulk down 1 too.
I reduced the amount of summons so much. I don't think I'm gonna make the Seymour isn't worth it for my version of this.
Yeah. I also switched it to the other Vincent. The backup hating Vincent.
Okay. There's only
What's
4
Cisne
bursts.
at for you? Is she still a 2K? Or a 2
You mean
drop?
2 of? No, I
2?
absolutely a 3 of.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
Cisne,
debating.
Reno,
Because
and Rude all need to be a 3 of in this deck for sure.
I'm starting to think like you, where I'm like, maybe I just cut Seymour. Because I'm running nine summons, but even then, that's still like, yeah, you're right. It's probably worth it to run the 3 Cisne. Backup, or LB looks fine. But let's be extra sure.
Okay, so I've got my 50 cards.
First, we can't run 3 clouds. Lightning. Let's see. Wait a second. Did I just find something really dumb?
What?
Oh, that's funny.
Don't leave me hanging. What's going on, Ty? I don't see your screen.
uh, with Reno on the field, let's say someone has 4 forwards, right?
Yeah.
You have Reno on the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
LB, LB4 Sephiroth. Dull all their stuff, ping 2 things for 8K.
Oh, interesting. I do like that. Wait, hold
It's
on. Let me reread. Yeah, that procs for each one. Oh,
and like mind you, obviously he does your own stuff too.
yeah,
But that's the thing is, especially with Reno, you just swing with a bunch of stuff, and then you swing with Sephiroth, dull everything down, and then, or you even just party attack with Reno and Sephiroth, and then Sephiroth dulls everything, and then you just ping a bunch of stuff.
yeah, that's super cheeky. I love that. That's a really.
Okay,
It's funny. I was thinking about putting Sephiroth in there. I'm like, maybe not. It costs 8. It's an expensive LB, but then it's like, you do have a really, really good point there.
yeah. Because I was just looking at LB stuff, and I'm like, what do we even have options in? A Nyx is probably worth running.
Nyx is a maybe. I don't
But
know.
definitely Victora. I'm definitely throwing in Victora.
I don't think Victoria's worth it only because you're not making your opponent discard really. Like you can't really
True.
guarantee they're gonna have low cards.
True.
I have Surges. I have Surges.
So worth running Edge.
I don't think you're ever gonna have the
Because if I have like, yeah, I know you're right. Because it's the fact that it's lightning forwards and like,
it's only
lightning
half your
helps with
stuff.
that. Yeah, the big thing is if it was forward and then you could get off of Cisne, it'd definitely be better.
Yeah. But not being able to reproc it all the time is kind of hard. Even though more of your forwards contain lightning than those that don't.
Yeah,
I don't know. Um,
Also, I kind of want to cut. Did you cut 4-drop lightning? The summon, or not the summon, the LB.
oh yeah, I made her the new light one.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Like it's got haste, pretty much. Like you're if you
Yeah,
if you budget right, you got haste.
I was
And you can
debating just
search for the other
running.
lightning if you have to.
Let's see. She's LB1, right?
Correct.
Damn it, she doesn't work with Sephiroth. That's what I was like trying to think through.
Actually, she
Because
kind of. Well, hold on. So you play Sephiroth.
Sephiroth flips
Five cards
5
are
is the
gone because
issue.
your Sephiroth himself is gone, right?
Yeah,
Then you play the lightning.
yeah. And then you
She's
have 6
6 and
cards face up in
7.
LB.
Yeah, so she doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're missing one.
Because
Yeah,
like if you do it separately, where you're playing Cloud Gilgamesh Lightning or Cloud Gilgamesh Lightning,
Cloud
flip
Surge,
2, that
lightning.
puts
Yeah,
you to
you need
3.
you need a
Oh
limit
wait,
break 1, limit break 2, and then lightning. But that's totally doable. Realistically, in a game,
yeah,
there is a pretty damn good chance you play a Kuja or a Cloud, and then a Surgus or a Gilgamesh or like
yeah,
that's not an unrealistic scenario. It's just hard to make it happen.
yeah.
So, yeah, I think mine is ready to rock.
All right, I'm figuring out the last slot. I think I'm stuck between Heretical Knight. Heretical Knight just costs 6 is the thing, so let's just throw in Surges. You're gonna play Surges infinitely more times than you're gonna cast anything else.
Absolutely.
And then in that case, the Kuja probably isn't worth running at 1, or isn't worth
I
running at
think it's
2.
worth running at one.
Yeah,
It's a
I'm sorry,
backflip
I corrected
card.
myself. I don't think it's worth running at 2.
No,
Like the
not it's
Cloud is
not a two.
100%
Yeah, it's
worth
never.
running
It's
at
I've
2.
never seen. I've the only time I've ever played that card twice in one game is pre-release, and it
Yeah,
did work, but it's also the only time I ever really play ice for what it's worth,
yeah.
outside of like wall 7 decks and stuff. Um, yeah, let me see your version here and compare it.
Here, it's like, let me. I'm just tagging it really quick. Uh,
I have K-pop
Save.
Demon Hunter music stuck in my head. Well, it's also being played on public radio now, some of it.
Yeah, I saw. Save. All right.
Okay. All right, so our versions are not terribly different.
Yeah,
Cisne 3, Reno 3, Shelk 1. Um, for you, old Shelk 1 for me, but new Shelk 3 from 16. Um, Rude, Zach, and oh, you put Sung in. That's not a bad call at all. Because you do
yeah.
have a bunch of Turks.
Especially if you have Elena in hand, you play Song, you flip into Reno or Rude, and then Elena's just free.
Okay. Hmm. All right. Well, so hold on. So now I want to change something a little bit. Kind of want to change. Kind of want to find a way to put, well, Sung, sure. But I also kind of want to put a restrictor in to get a Shelk. So I'll do that as a one of. That seems fine. But Sung is my 51st card. Ooh, Vincent can
I
probably
mean,
come down to 2.
in all honesty, I'm not sure how often you're going to play that Shulk.
I don't see that's the thing, right? If you have one on field and you hit that restrictor on burst or you play it in the back row, you just have an auto cancel ready to go.
Wait, you're looking at. Oh, you're putting. Oh, okay, never mind.
Shulk is a
I was
CX.
I know. No, I was thinking about how often you would play the Opus 2 one, not
Yeah, no,
use
no,
it
I
for
got rid of
fodder
that
for the
one.
other one.
Yeah.
Okay. I just didn't think it was super worth it. Like canceling an
Hmm.
auto ability is really nice, but I think having it a one of is fine. Like, you stop Sophie, you stop Witch, like
Yeah.
it's a fun niche card, but I can't imagine it being too good.
Yeah, no, I get you.
But still having a 2 mana cancel an auto ability is pretty nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so here's your version. Our LBs are pretty similar. You have Victoria instead of Lightning in your LB, and I think that's okay. I prefer Lightning. Our summons are a little different. You went with the same summon line that we had in Nyx,
Yeah.
which is cool. Spectral Keeper. Um, you kept the Moss Slasher instead of the Behemoth.
Mhm.
Um, but I think the Behemoth leans into the aggro a bunch, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, I'm just
Especially
not
with the
sure.
Sis Snake,
Like,
it's really filthy.
yeah.
Just to be able
It,
to multiple swings is so cool.
Yeah, and I agree with that, and I was thinking about it, but I just had trouble finding a ratio for it, so I was like, let's keep it this. I think definitely like Mall Slasher is the thing that could be swapped out for that,
Sure. Yeah, no, that's what I
but
did. Yeah. So it's
yeah,
optional, player's choice. At the end of the day, it's
yeah,
someone else building their own deck. We have our backups very similar here.
yeah. I think you're
Um,
running Restrictor and I'm not, but I think that's like
you're
literally the only
running
difference.
the mill reeve as opposed to the dredge or whatever the hell it's called. Um, and you
Yeah.
also have the 9-drop I see. I don't want the name clash. Um, partially because it's a newer player, but also because I think that a dead card is not useful. Whichever one you
Oh,
want to
having
avoid.
between LB and the sneak attack, back attack, Sephiroth,
I said Reeve, dude.
Reeve. Am I missing? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I just missed that. One sec. In that case.
Yeah, I took out the 4-drop Reeve. It's a nice card to have, but I think searching Kate Sith is more important, or searching Vincent is more important.
No, I'm definitely on the same page. Let me look at that again. One sec. Is it worth to put just Barrel Eye back? Wait a second.
In my build I have Johnny at
Uh,
2. So you can do that and like a second Sid Waff, maybe.
Honestly, I was debating Drace.
Grace isn't bad.
Drace versus Cissney and Reno.
Yeah.
Let me look through here a little bit more. The Snuggler isn't a bad idea either. Oh, Emperor. Ooh, actually. Uh, you know what? Let's toolboxify it a little bit more with my 2 empty slots. Emperor Gestalt.
Okay. Techie.
And then let's see. Are we running the 4-drop Chadley still? No. Does that care? Zach cares about forwards, not characters. Let's see. What else would be just like a cheeky card to run? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 6, 7. Let's even it out a little bit more. Wait, where is he? Where's my boy? Where's my child? Where is where is Edward? There he is.
Edward's
There we
also a
go.
good cheeky card. I like that too.
Safe. Because I remember mind you, who was it? Brian was running Edward in his Ice Lightning.
Yeah.
So whenever I think of Ice Lightning, because I always remember him at the house where I forgot who he's. Oh, he was playing against he knew he was going into Wall 7 into top 32, and he was just like, he's like, dude, I have Edward, it's fine.
Hmm. Yeah, I think there's certain things to be considered depending on like what the deck's goal is, and I don't think that the Edward really works with this deck. Um, but I'm open to be proven wrong. Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Sorry, what was
So
that? I got distracted for a sec.
no, I think the I think that it doesn't really fit with the strategy of the deck, but I'm open to be proven wrong. Like it's
Yeah.
it's fine. Like I think this deck tries to lean more into kind of being a not necessarily pure aggro, but it does have kind of a core of aggro a little bit.
Mhm.
Like you set up fast and then figure it out from there.
Yeah.
Um,
Because one of my other one of the other things I was thinking about was like Kuja. Kill an opposing 2-drop. Like that's the thing is if you want to keep like I put an Edward in just as like for the same reason I put in like Emperor Gestalt, you know.
Difference is though that
So Emperor
Kuja is a
Gestalt,
2-drop burst.
that is
It does
true.
dull something though. So
Yeah,
it procs your Reno.
yeah.
So I think there's a lot of variability here available. For anyone watching, the Kuja we're talking about is let me find it. It's this one here. This Kuja that I'm highlighting. I'm not going to save it in there, but this Kuja is super cool, and depending on the use of 2-drops going forward, I think this might be a card that comes back again. It was a good
Mhm.
anti-Yuna tech when Yuna was big. Yuna's getting banned, so it's moot, but we don't know
I
what's going to
mean,
stay big with 2-drops.
yeah, there's
Um,
still a fair amount of just like good 2-drops in the game.
there are. No, absolutely there are. I mean, we have the twins. Um, I'm trying to think of what other. There are a lot of forwards that I'm not thinking of at the moment that are good targets for this Kuja. Um, Furion in Warriors for sure. Um, what else? What else? What else? Yeah, that Kuja, it does go in 13 decks if you want to go that route. I took it out of mine temporarily, but with Yuna being big, it's a good card to have there. Um, but I didn't play 13 against Yuna decks ever, so it was moot for me. Um, but I think in this deck, it is a good variable option to be able to dull something, proc the Reno, and deal 4K.
Mhm.
Um, and then you can do other stuff however you feel like. But I think that this, like, focusing on some of the stuff that this deck can do is actually kind of cool. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Um, that said, I hope this one helps a newer player because I know Yuki has been kind of trying to wrap their head around like deck building and stuff. That it doesn't come naturally to everybody, but it also, even if it does come naturally, still figuring out what's good and what's not in this game takes a while. It's been around for 8 years now. Like, there's a lot
Yeah.
of stuff to play with.
Yeah.
So, if we're good, we can move on to what I believe is Warren's deck.
Yep. Soldier candidates.
Let's go.
Here,
Soldier
I need 1 minute. I have to
candidates.
run to the bathroom, but feel free to get started with me
All
or
right.
without me. I did the one thing I do want to comment on immediately
Yeah.
is the Ixal. Uh, that should not be there.
Which one?
uh,
Oh,
specifically talking
Ixion? Yeah, you
about
kill yourself with
yeah,
Ixion for
yeah.
sure.
Just get rid of the
Yeah, it's just
Ixion.
a suicide card.
That Rama could also probably go to. That was an anti-Una.
I
Doesn't need to be around
agree.
anymore.
Yeah.
Probably move time up to 3. Also, do soldier candidates have a color fixer?
No.
So wasn't there another Earth one? No, Cersei's not running the other Earth one. You probably want to run the other Earth one.
There's two Earth ones.
Yeah, the other one buffs out all of your stuff by 2.
Oh yeah, so it does.
But yeah, I'll be back in a little bit.
Yep. Okay, so you got Drace. That's good. Um, let me think here. Oh, you definitely, if you're an Earth, you definitely need Kate Sith. Because it does play a character of two or less from your hand on the field. Oh, you have Kate Sith. I'm just dumb and didn't see it. That is totally a three of. Um, okay, hear me out here. If you're running a bajillion two drops, you might as well slap a Zidane in there. Yeah, summons are for Yuna. Yeah, that's fair, but I think, yeah, I mean, at that rate, you just counterplay with your own Yuna in this. Um, yeah, it's awkward. Some things are awkward with that. Um, yeah, I see what the Zach is doing for sure. I get that. Chime is solid. Yeah. Just okay, the one limit break Luso. Yeah, that's fair. Um, yeah, God, there's a lot of. I think you need Mott in the LB for sure. Maybe two of them. You'll want to do Noctis in the LB as a one of. Other Lightning LB. Oh, you want Nyx as a one of. Excuse me, Cloud. Wow, we got a lot of card named Cloud since that LB card came out. Geez, Opus 22. We've had LB since Opus 22. Whew. Um, yeah, Nyx. Yeah, no, like no memes. Like you have a bunch of lightning forwards here, and if any of them die, you just go. Shantotto LB for sure. Hello, game. Shantotto and lightning. New LB there. Okay, cool. Whoops, that's a hard scroll. Yeah, so this is your LB. I think this is perfectly fine. There is nothing that you really need to, you really care to play out of the LB in these colors. Um, it's kind of, it's kind of hard to validate a lot of stuff for LB in this deck, only because like you're trying to slam and play out as much stuff as possible. Um, and this deck reminds me a little bit of back in the day, I had a goofy deck that is somewhere in my deck library, in my cabinet, in my office, I should say my closet in my office. Um, which is like 5 feet away from me, but I'm not gonna go grab it. But it takes advantage of uh okay, that if I can spell words correctly. It takes advantage of these little weenies. There's four different colors of them, and you play the color fixing backup Moogles, the class N Moogle, whatever name or number. Um, and yeah, you goof around with this. There's a bunch of other stuff. This is just a modern version of that that doesn't need to rely on having backups like that. Because these guys just all buff based on the break zone. Now you're vulnerable based on the Mist Dragon that the opponent might play. But realistically, you're gonna build that back up so much faster than say a Gilgamesh FFBE deck will do that, which also is an option if you slap a Gilgamesh FFBE in here. Um, that is a cheeky option. It's not optimal, but it's kind of doable. Um, Gilgamesh, is that in the LB? No, so that could be in the LB as well. Um, like yeah, maybe you could care about it, but like, eh. Um, Oh, really? That's hilarious, Warren. Someone brought it to Mike's. That's hilarious. Yeah, I built that deck when those Onion Knights were new. Um, there I go misspelling. Oh my God, can't type tonight. Yeah, Opus 10. Because we had the class Moogle stuff in the same set. What is this card? Oh, it's new. Okay, that makes sense. It's like I don't recognize that character. Um, Dragon LB? Hell no. That card costs way too much. Um, oh, that's odd. Yeah, new player. Okay, cool. That's cool. I want to meet this person now because I want to help them make that deck better. Um, because that's some goofy stuff. I love that. That's like the ultimate bulk deck. That was back when the meta felt kind of stale to me at the time, and I was like, what goofy stuff can I build that's just not meta? And I was working at a card shop, and I started pulling stuff out of our bulk, and I realized, oh, this is like doable. Like it's so efficient because it's so cheap in terms of like the casting cost that yeah, maybe you can do some goofy stuff with that. I don't know. Um, so the reprint of Gilg FFBE is cheaper. Um, Here we go. Yeah, the reprint is cheaper. Um, it's from Kenosha. Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. I think I know who you're talking about. Um, yeah, there's some players who don't have a community locally, but they've been playing the game a while. I think I know who you're talking about. I think that person's in our Discord actually. That aside though, um, I do think there's some goofiness that you can do um with playing maybe the Gilgamesh FFBE because oh yeah, okay, yes, yes. I know who you're talking. Yeah, I've seen that deck. There's a lot so I back when Stern Leonis got banned, my fiance wanted to keep playing the Chocobos. So I brewed a prototype Bart's Boko deck before Bart's Boko got slapped in there. I had Noctis for the party attack stuff, and I had um oh crap, what was it? Because Stern Leonis and Miyun got banned around the same time. So it was Noctis and Materia that I slapped in there. The one drop forward Materia. And that was super cheeky. And then that actually was the basis for some decks that ran around for a while until that fizzled out. But I think I was one of the first people to publicly post one of those decks. So that felt really cool. And so to see other people playing stuff like that, even whether they know about my stuff or not, is awesome. I love seeing people try to make that stuff work. I do revisit that every so often just to see if it would still have legs and like, there's a not insignificant chance. But the ice version of the aggro ice with Noctis that came out a couple like last summer, was way more effective at doing stuff. Because it made your opponent discard Indulgent Freeze and stuff. So, anyway, back on topic. That was a big firework explosion, or I hope it was a firework explosion. Um, yeah, there's I think enough. I think there's enough legs here to be able to because like you have one, two, three, four, five if you have the Zidane elements. So you can at least get the Dull and Freeze and Bray or Dull and Freeze off of the Gilgamesh with the haste first strike and 1k, which is cool. Um so the question then becomes like do you desperately want to like flood the field? Do you care about getting effects? Do you just want to keep this as like bland standard unit as possible? because you certainly could start like poking around with numbers to make the Zidane more consistent and the Gilgamesh more consistent. We're at 54 cards right now. Obviously, it's over the limit. I think the Mist Dragon could be at 2. I don't think it's a mission critical card. Um, Roche is technically a soldier, not a soldier candidate, but he's a lightning card, so there's value. He free plays himself. Like you can do stuff with that. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how you would fit more Zidanes in here because all these soldier candidates have value. Um, and you can't skew these numbers too much, or you're gonna lose your color control here. You have a very, very delicate balance of colors going on. So I don't want to disrupt that too much. I mean, like, honestly, the Zidane isn't necessary. Neither is the Gilgamesh. I think the Gilgamesh could probably go to 2. The Zidane can probably be at 2. At the end of the day. But, yeah. Yeah, Gilgamesh is definitely like a cheeky card. It's not a win con. It's not a goal. It's just kind of like, oh, I have Ice CP, or I can produce Ice CP from backups. I have a Gilgamesh in hand. I'm gonna play a Gilgamesh and get a AK 3-drop AK hasty first strike. Roche at 2. I don't like Roche at 2. Roche is a card that in general in a deck, if he's in there, he's at 3 because you want to almost guarantee you hit him with nothing on field. He only works if you have no characters on field. Otherwise, he's a 2-cost 4K. Not really worth it. He's he's too bland. He's too flat, too bland of effects to have at any other time than for free. My Odin aggro deck, plays him at 3. So it's one of those cards that like I struggle to want to include him at anything less than 3. The Warrior of Light. I've been sitting and looking at this card occasionally. Like it has a like just free play from break zone, or like not free play, but like play from break zone for the raw cost of the card. Every attack phase. That's kind of stupid. Like that's
All right,
crazy.
I'm back. I
Um,
feel a lot better now.
nice. Being able to do that Warrior of Light shenanigan, like doing that with most of the deck, like most of your forwards, is really silly. I
Huh.
like that a lot. I don't think 4 is overcosted for that. Like he preps his own ability with it. He becomes a 9K at D3. Like you have something to work with there. Um,
Uh,
like the Zach has a purpose. That's why I'm struggling to like do anything silly with this. Um, though honestly, I think the Gilg FFBE can go to make Zidane more like higher numbers. And a warrior candidate has haste. Like that can just like play a warrior of light and then pay 2. It's like, oh, okay, I got the hasty now. Like you board wiped me last turn, but screw you. Chocobo, yeah, no, this card works with some Chocobo decks. You can do that. You have to build very carefully with it because there's some weird stuff with color fixing and stuff. But I think having this Kate Sith makes the Zidane worth it. Being able to play a free 2-drop is like it's just Zidane. Like you just play Zidane. Like there's no reason not to. Um, Worst case, he's fire CP for the soldier candidate, or you pitch him to pay 2 for the Warrior of Light, or whatever. You have majority Earth CP in the deck, so you're not really gonna be starving for those colors. You don't care about monsters too much. There's not really any validation for having a lot of monsters. Um, yeah, Yeah, I mean, I guess the ice soldier candidate can go down to 2, so Zidane can be at 2. Kinda it.
It's like I just realized that there's only one card in the LB, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
fix that.
we talked about that on stream for a little while. Warren's in chat here.
Yeah.
So, um yeah, though, like this not like keeping the deck in theme and not tweaking it crazy. And honestly, if you're doing like with this theme, there's not much to tweak. Because again, this for Ty's reference, like this feels like my Onion Knight deck from Opus 10, made
Mhm.
like almost purely from bulk.
Yeah.
So, well, I took
See where you're
Gilgamesh
coming
out,
from.
Warren. So don't worry about the Gilgamesh. Like it's a meme card in this deck. You can't get the triple swing. Like realistically, without a light card or a dark card, and something that you have discarded for water, like you're not gonna get it. So yeah, no, the Gilgamesh was a joke for sure. Um, like you don't really actually care all that much about this soldier candidate. Like dull something and freeze it. Neat, cool, good. But you care about punching through. You care about flooding the board really fast. Um, could you put a Yuna in here? Actually, kinda. Could.
Realistically, yeah.
Like I don't know how like that would change the goal of the deck from being aggro to being control. And
It's the
But Yuna forced to be at 1 is what makes it super awkward.
the big thing about Yuna in this list is that like it's you're just not running any of the reactivation shenanigans. You're not running like yeah, you're playing stuff that plays out more stuff. That's cool, and you have a lot of ways to search her off of Galuf,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Drace, free play off of Kate Sith. You have ways to recur it using Johnny. You can search it off of Tyro, but
Yeah,
eh,
I mean this deck was a good deck for Yuna because you can flood the board really fast. But
yeah,
yeah, with her limited to 1, it's just not worth it in this deck anymore. And that's
yeah,
the point,
I
right?
agree.
Like is to make it not worth enough decks running that Yuna that she's no longer an oppressive card.
Yeah,
She got the Sophie treatment and she deserved it. Um,
yeah.
but I think this deck is where it's gonna be for now. If anybody viewing current like during the stream or after the stream, if anyone's watching the VOD, go ahead and comment your ideas. Always love to hear feedback. That's kind of what this is all
Yeah.
for, is having interaction with the community, engagement with you guys to help us or help the players who design these decks. And, so feel free to throw that in there.
Here a second.
But I didn't
I
change
want to
all that
find.
much, honestly.
Yeah, I'm trying to find just what else has standard unit support. It's like,
I mean, Warren said Chocobos, and I said the Onion Knights. Onion Knight 3 from Final Fantasy 3. Um, like, there are a lot of standard unit forwards in the game, but
yeah,
I don't think there's as much synergy between them as the soldier candidates.
yeah, yeah. Because I'm just wondering, like, what. Yeah, I just don't think that there's much for it.
Like, the soldier candidates were just a really funny cycle. Like,
Yeah,
just hands down, they were just a funny, cute little cycle that power crept an old, really cute, funny cycle, which is the Onion Knights.
yeah,
Um, this is fine. I think this is fine how it is. There's not too much to goof with.
yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right, Warren. They are pretty memey. And like, dude, the work you've done with like Pirate Vikings, like I am impressed at at the way you've piloted that deck and held off like top tier meta decks. Um like you borrowed that build from me, you modified it a little bit, and you just did crazy shit at locals. And that's what I love about this game and the community. So I don't blame you. Like if you find yourself falling into a niche, there's probably a good reason for it. Like you just pilot shit fun. You do a good job with it. So, if you got your niche, shit, man, smoke them if you got them.
God, I wish you could run Phoenix more comfortably in this deck.
Yeah, if you had more fire, being able to just recur a 2-drop forward is pretty cool.
Yeah. Here,
But
what's the
also, there's
word?
not a lot of 2-drop forwards you care to recur. Like Zidane, Chime, it's kind of it.
Let's see. Oop, wrong.
Like, you could change this Reeve to the 3-drop Reeve that grabs from Break Zone and then doesn't reactivate until that thing leaves the field. But good luck trying to remember which standard unit you brought back from the grave.
Yeah.
Or, if you have a named character like Chime, Roche, Zidane, cool, that's good. But the Warrior of Light is a recurring turn-by-turn Phoenix at the beginning of every attack phase. So, and it's cheaper overall. So like, meh, whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
Hmm.
What's
I'm
the
like
Minecraft
looking
villager thinking
through.
about?
I'm thinking of just like anything that targets like 2 drops, but I'm not coming up with much. Like obviously this deck wouldn't run like Opus 3 Lena. It'd be hell. It'd even be a push to run Godot in here.
Yeah, Godot isn't worth it
Either one.
without
Yeah.
more support.
Yeah.
I feel like Owen would really like this deck. Man, I miss Owen. I haven't seen him in a while. I know
Yeah.
he
I saw
dropped.
him. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I saw him once at second level. It was like right after it opened.
Yeah, well, yeah, because he traded in a lot of his Final Fantasy cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trading. He kept a couple decks, but he was trading in to play more. I think more One Piece and one other card game that he wanted to dig more deeply into.
Yeah, he
So
was getting really into One Piece last we saw him.
yeah, I mean he was good at it.
He was. I mean,
Yeah,
hell,
once
he
you have a
was.
fire standard unit that you could maybe do with, like, you could do that if you were running like a soldier's deck with Glenn. Um, that could work.
Oh, Glenn would be funny.
But I don't think I mean it doesn't work with this deck because you run one soldier.
Yeah.
So but there are people in playing L3 and L6 format who are using Glenn to do a bunch of shenanigans.
Not
So
anymore. Oh, wait. Is he banned in title? I thought he got banned in L3.
Glenn, I don't think he got banned in L3.
One sec.
That
Pretty
being
sure he
said, I
got
don't
banned.
keep up with the L3 meta, so don't quote me.
Yeah.
I don't play that format at all. Um, we could though. We could do logos like L3 one day. Um,
Uh, yeah. Yeah, he's banned in L3.
wow, shocker.
He's
No way,
the
dude.
it is just a little funny only because it's just like we have no idea what happens in L3 where we're like Glenn got banned?
I mean, look, he
Why?
enables a really filthy combo that like there's not a lot of removal for.
True.
Like you play Glenn, you get to free play Lucia and what's his face? Matt. And then next turn you slam another thing, and then you slam a Yuna,
Yeah.
and then your
Oh
opponent
yeah.
cries. So, because your stuff reactivates at the end of turn. Like it's pretty gross. That's understandable. I see why they would ban the Glen and not the Yuna in L3.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Ty, do you have your version of this?
Yes I do.
Cool.
Let me save it really quick.
Make sure to name it.
Already did.
Cool. And we can move on to the last two decks. Boom. Okay. So you kept yours very similar to mine. You put the one of Yuna in there. You kept Mist Dragon at 3. LB is a little different. I don't know. I mean, I guess you're using the Tyro and the ShantottoCast, the Warrior of Light.
Yeah, basically.
Red 13
Because
is
that
a.
Warrior of Light's just such an end game card.
That's totally fair. You're running the 9-drop LB Shantotto, which is super expensive.
Yeah.
frankly rather run the 4-drop board wipe one because you have all the
I know.
Earths.
My point is you play just to make it game. You have the forwards. It's like, all right, let's kill two things.
If you have
Arguably,
the
you could
CP for it, I
run.
guess.
Well, actually, you wouldn't want to run the Sephiroth because Sephiroth doesn't have haste.
Yeah, no. Um, but that aside, like everything else is pretty similar. We both
Mm.
bumped Chime to 3.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, this really comes down to what ratios are you feeling.
Mm.
Um, yeah, oh yeah, Warren thought about Dragon earlier. I think hard no because it's not
Oh,
worth
wait.
it.
Let me reread it.
Like, you need to
I'm pretty sure my
control.
answer is also no. Oh, whoops! I put one in. I just feel choose two characters in your breakdown to control four more Earth characters. Choose one forward to kill.
Like
If
your
you have
stuff's
like
got to
all of your
survive a
backups,
while.
maybe. Yeah, that's my issue. All of your stuff needs to stick around.
Because like in a Warriors deck, playing the 6-drop um Ultima weapon, like that's more doable because it costs 6. And yeah, it counts itself, which is nice because you can just have multiple, like you have water, you have like backups and a couple forwards. But you have so many
Yeah,
more multicolored forwards in Warriors to play the Ultima weapon with, like Therian and Yazuki and a Tyvis, plus a bunch of backups, and then cool, like Ultima weapons online.
yeah,
Um, Whereas this, you're paying 9, it checks for 4, and you don't have any multicolor stuff outside of the Zidane, which the Ultima doesn't check for, or
yeah.
Dragon doesn't check for.
Hmm.
So like that one just doesn't feel appropriate for the deck to me. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel you. Also, I looked at the backup lineup one more time because I was just like, no, this makes sense. The one thing that doesn't make sense is the two drop Ingus, in my opinion. But I'm trying to find something to replace it.
I mean it buffs a thing and gives it brave. I don't see a downside of that. Almost everything standard unit.
Only during main phase, but that's what makes me wonder if it's let's say enter your hand if it's an earth forward, like something like two drop monk is you pay one, you get one of your earth candidates back out.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, that's actually pretty nice, especially because the one candidate that fights, it dies. You play monk, it enters, it fights, it lives.
I guess, yeah.
Or you could even run a minor instead. What does Creel do again? Creel doesn't do anything. Like, I'm just wondering if there's a better option than just giving something 1K and Brave. Yeah, actually, boink boink. Where
I think the
is?
brave being there is relevant because you want to be able to keep stuff up to flood and like keep defending yourself as well. Because remember, you get stuff back off the Warrior of Light every turn if it lives.
Yeah, but I think at that point I'd rather just like I don't know. I feel like the Warrior of Light. I think the Warrior of Light's important, but
Because you could
oh
also use that
well,
Ingus to give the Warrior of Light brave and 1K.
yeah. But if you could do it at instant speed on the opponent's turn, it'd be better.
It'd be better. I
I think that's
agree.
my ultimate issue with
Yeah,
it
no
is
doubt, no doubt.
that main phase restriction is, in my opinion, really rough.
A little bit, yeah. But again, we're working with like standard units here.
Yeah,
There's like anything we do to optimize the deck is optional. It's
yeah,
it's tech choices. So
yeah.
yeah.
But still, I'm gonna throw in. Where did I just see that card too?
Well, let's make it quick so we can get the last 2 decks.
Uh,
Because if you take too
oh yeah,
long, I'm gonna
monk.
take out my
There
ally
we
and start playing Need for Speed.
go.
I
You
want to
fool!
finish
I'm already.
Underground too, man.
There, saved. Yeah, I just swapped out the what's a who's it.
Cool.
Anyway, are you ready to move on to Octopirates?
But yeah, let me just show off make sure I show the card that you're talking about here from Opus 17. And then yeah, we can move on to Nico's decks.
Yep.
Sent in two.
Hmm.
Let's take care of the first one first.
Yeah. Also, it's funny. I was just looking at that Gilgamesh. Or I opened up his water list first,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
but
Octopirates. Yeah.
yeah. But I saw the Gilgamesh, and I was thinking about that for the other deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So this one wants to run a bajillion Ultros.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what's going on
Uh,
here.
we can safely get rid of the Kraken. I know that much.
The EX one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay, the BK
I'm
and
not
Ferris
sure
are
about
here. That's
the.
good.
I'm not
Three
sure about the
drop
self mill
Viking.
Ultros. Also, the fact that it's only kind of half-heartedly doing the Viking stuff.
No, I think it's okay because they're all being searched. They're not. You're not trying to mill for them.
Yeah. Hmm.
What's the card I'm thinking of here? Sahagin Chief.
So I see the point of Leviathan to swap out Ultros that I could put into damage, but I don't think it's worth. Oh, three Octomammoth, three Tros is not the way to go to. Probably
I
one
agree.
Octomammoth. It's just the fact that they're legendary.
Yeah.
The backup line was going to need some working too. Kami is fine. Merlweb's fine. Interesting. So that explains why he asked that question about redirecting to Tidus.
Yeah. Is there it is.
I'm trying to think, what are some other Famfrit cards?
There's not a lot of them. The new Leviathan do. I gotta reread it. No. Don't think it's worth it. Not bad. Not bad at all, actually. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I want to cut down the amount of forwards in the deck to make backups like viable.
Yeah, that's what I. That's the main thing that I'm debating. I think it's probably worth it to cut the Gilgamesh.
I cut the Gilgamesh. I cut the Opus 4 Layla as well.
Yeah, 'cause that's the thing is like in a way I want to lean more into the Viking stuff because I have my biases towards it. Because I think my main issue with this list is that you draw too many ultras and then you're like, well, fuck.
Yeah, there's not I mean that's the problem with Ultros decks in general, right? Like that's always
Yeah,
the struggle. Um but I don't want to take away the theme of the deck, right? Because he seems pretty enthusiastic about making this particular strategy go through. That is kind of the point of Fix It Friday is working with unique challenges. I mean, remember the Lonnie deck?
Oh yeah.
The bouncing Lana
Uh,
deck.
also, I'm putting in 3 Luna.
You're doing the
Yeah.
Lana? Okay, fair enough.
Uh, yeah.
All right, so Sarah and Lena for sure
I mean,
going
that's the
in.
thing is this deck could hit the required backups pretty easy. I don't think Minwu needs to be there though.
No, I took that out.
I'm wondering if you just run like Alchemist. Um, but I mean, that's kind of the fun thing about this each card type and add it to your hand. Interesting. Um, that's the interesting thing about this list is, you know, yeah, we're keeping the Ultros in, we're keeping Famfrits. Oh, I hate that. There's one that it's oh you pay water and then you add the other ultras to your hand like eh. That does break itself to reduce something by 5.
Hmm.
I just think it's funny that the 1-drop ultros. I think the only way to play it is uh obviously itself or the 5-drop one. The other two don't play it from deck.
Hmm.
But being able to cycle it away and then play the other one isn't bad.
Yeah.
Mm,
So how
play
many?
a card
Okay,
that'll
so there's
help with that.
3, 6, 9, 12 Ultros cards in the deck total. Eliminates a lot of slots for optimal other stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's a removable card there. Uh, this is a very hard deck to pick to get any ratios on.
Yeah.
Like everything is too much in terms of like everything I try to pick. It's just like, oh man, we're flooded with certain stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
It's
Dan, I can't go to pre-release, and Mike wasn't having he wasn't opening the shop, so like, figure why not? We posted a couple days
mm,
ago. I'm not surprised people missed it.
mm.
Um, yeah.
All
So,
right, I think. Oh wait. Oh, the deck doesn't have an LB. I just realized.
yeah, no, yeah. Let me just do water, LB. Let's do light and dark LB just for giggles. Let's do Refia do. Oh, it's irrelevant. Or is it? Does anything here waff? Here waff at all? Is all Pictologica? Yeah, no. Okay, so that's irrelevant. Graph is solid for sure.
Yeah, we got
Lunafreya,
Graph.
absolutely. Titus and Leo. Little Leela can be a one of.
I'm
Luso can
putting
do
in
some
Luso.
stuff.
I put Alchemist into the backup lineup.
That's fair. I think Call Me is a one of. I don't think Call Me is even really necessary here.
Yeah, she's fine.
Hmm.
She's fine. Being able to stop things from being removed is nice, but I don't think you care too much about it. It's only just to set up the Legend Ultros.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna save mine. Save.
I want to make room for one more summon. I just can't justify
Okay.
taking some of this stuff out at all. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna call that there. I can't play too much with this with the ratios. I'm just kind of I feel trapped with it. Too much
Mhm.
going on here. You are probably gonna be a little bit better off with your alchemists because you have three more backups and less summons.
Yeah.
Um, but the thing I actually put more summons in to mimic what Warren and I did, where we have Aquatarasu plus the bounce and then can't replay Leviathan. And the
Yeah.
new
Because
Leviathan from Opus
honestly,
24.
because I was debating just doing like a Leviathan package.
Mm-hmm.
That one guy at the Choops,
Yeah.
uh, the guy that's playing Mono Water kind of convinced me of it because it seemed kind of fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The big thing is I just felt like there isn't room for it. I think
Mm.
we felt kind of that same restriction where it's just like the forward lineup basically couldn't be touched. Um,
Yeah.
because like you have to run max copies of everything to make sure that everything else gets played out.
Yeah. It's so tough.
Yeah.
But all right, so your version versus so this is your version here. My version is before.
Mhm.
Um yeah, okay, cool. What are you not running? Oh, you took it. Okay, you don't have a little Leo. That's probably smart. I think two Leo is good. Two Leo is good. Um, but yeah, we have pretty similar builds. We actually ended up on almost identical forward lineups.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I was debating keeping in the Layla, but the fact that you don't have the digging Viking is just like not
mm-hmm.
much of a reason actually.
Yeah. Oh, you kept the Minwoo in?
Did I? Did I keep it at one?
Yeah. I put Braun at
Uh,
two, and I took Kalmia out as well.
I'm fine with Kamiya there. Here, I just bumped Astrologian up to two and took out Minwoo. Yeah,
That's
Minwoo
fair.
doesn't do much for this list.
You
Hell,
say if
even the
you
Tidus is kind of iffy here, but
No, I think Titus is fine because you're realistically gonna have like you're gonna build that board pretty fast.
Mhm.
Like oh, the other thing I also put in a Sahagin Chief. So imagine having that like ready to go, like just ready to go, and then you play the Tidus LB, bounce a bunch
Yeah.
of stuff, and draw a bunch of cards, and then go, okay, cool, Sahagin Chief, bounce two things.
Mhm.
And you
Yeah.
just clean them out, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's cheeky. But I think this is two interesting, totally close variants of the deck that really just vary on what utility you have in the back row,
Mhm.
ultimately, which is fine.
Yeah.
Um, I think we can move on to the last deck.
Yeah, I took a peek at it. It's pretty funny.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. I think it's perfect. I don't think we can touch it.
I mean, theme-wise,
Uh
this is certainly very funny and actually like I think this is really funny.
it's very funny. I don't know like I don't want to touch it only because I feel like we can't. Like that's the thing is it's running three realm, three Gao, three blue mage. Um the one Lan is
I think the lawn is kind of not really helpful.
Lan doesn't need to be there technically.
Yeah, I would swap a lawn for a blue worm. And I actually would swap it for multiple blue worms. I just gotta figure out what monsters to pull out. Um,
Well, you can't pull out a bomb. Well, technically you can pull out the ice bomb.
I think I would pull out the, well,
Yeah, all right.
I
Let
think I'd pull
me
out the Opus 19 bomb, or at least drop it to two, or drop it to one rather.
I don't
It requires you to have a very set number of backups.
Yeah, my only reason I just want to go to the ice bomb because there's just nowhere to play it.
Realm.
Okay, it's out of row.
Yeah,
Like
outside of
it's
Realm, it's not. Yeah, it's not good. I would
at that
put a
point I'd rather
Larsa
just
in
play.
for finding your Realm and your Gao.
Mhm.
But like, kind of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. Oh, maybe I would play a Princess Goblin for searching the Citra.
Uh, uh, I don't know. When I was playing the mono fire list that ran that, it didn't do too well. It just made Citra feel very like laborious,
Hmm, I guess.
especially on a list where you're hitting 4 backups at max. I don't know.
I mean, I have more backups in my deck than you, I think, than at least the deck did by default.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about cutting a Lana and a Citra to try to bump backups up to 11 at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty good with this deck. There's really like this deck is straight up just a hilarious meme,
Yeah,
and I I I think there's unironically something to play with here.
yeah. You're
Um,
looking at LBs.
yeah, like this is yeah, at this rate. Um, fire, water, light, uh, LB.
Hmm.
Okay. Machina for sure. Red 13. Um, what does the new Amaranth do? Amaranth could
New
be
Amaranth's
fun.
not bad.
Amaranth's not bad at all. Oh yeah, Ultima Weapon for sure. Luna Freya, Zack for sure,
Well,
Leo.
Lunafray only has one EX target, worth noting.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, even I guess it's like a dig for something useful card, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But at that point, it's just a 6 mana draw card.
Yeah, you're right.
Did I put? Yeah, I put Machina in.
Oh, Raffia is kind of funny if we put the lawn back in.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's not bad at all. Yeah, why not? I never took out the lawn.
Oh, okay.
Ugh. I still want to put Citra down to 1 or another backup. Hmm.
Oh, you know what'll also be really funny.
Uh,
Um, so Edgar, Rain, and Princess Goblin are all WAF characters.
uh,
The Lightning WAF Cloud is color corrected by having a Rain or a Lon on field.
yeah.
Uh, and then when he enters, you can choose a character, or sorry, a forward with a cost equal to or less than the number of category WAF characters you control and break it. So if you control all three of those backups and you play Cloud, you can break a 4 drop or less for
Yeah.
any color, which I think is
Yeah,
really
that's.
cheeky. You play the
Yeah.
you play the Refia to play the Cloud,
Mhm.
like you get a 5 drop, or if you can kill a 5 drop, that's kind of cute.
Yeah, that is actually pretty cute. Hmm. Put Blue Mage down to 2.
I did put Blue Mage down to 2 as well. Why do I have 51 cards? No.
All right, I'm done.
All right. Ty's version. All right. So here's Ty's version. Ooh. And here's my version. These two are once again pretty similar. I see the Fisher in yours.
Mhm,
I think the Fisher costs too much for its ability.
mhm,
Um, Paying 3 plus the breaking itself.
mhm. To get back
Just for a
a
monster
substandard
back.
bomb.
But
I know.
some of those
I'm doing
monsters
it
are
for
pretty
the meme.
good and potentially pretty worth it. So I'm
Yeah,
not gonna knock it. You know, it's a one of also, so no shade there as well.
yeah. I mean, if you
Um,
want to be super technical, this is a really good anti-unit deck.
this is a hilariously anti-unit deck. You just play stuff super efficiently, and they just have to keep canceling all those autos, but then you just pop the bombs to kill the unit anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is hilarious, and I'm shocked somebody didn't think of this prior, or at least
it's because
didn't.
it would beat Yuna and nothing else.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. No, it'd be so inefficient against the rest of the meta.
Yeah,
Um,
this deck would be great if you had 4 rounds of Yuna.
yeah, no, for sure. Um, which with I mean, if Nats, that'd be really funny, right? If you knew what your opponent's deck A and B were ahead of time,
Oh yeah.
that'd be really funny. You'd be like, oh, we're all playing deck A. Well, everyone's deck A is Yuna, so I'm gonna run this as my deck A on day one. That'd be so funny. Guarantee yourself a 4 wins out of 8. Like at least you get a 50-50. Then you can maybe hope to take one other one and make tie breaks to day 2. That'd be really funny. Um, but yeah, no, this is a cheeky, really funny deck. I kind of want to goof around with this at locals one day just to see if I piss anyone off.
It would be very funny.
That would be really
It,
funny.
it'd be oddly good against ice because it's just like, oh, you're gonna dull and freeze my bombs. Oh, I'm just gonna crack them.
But yeah, right. Like, they don't tap for shit, so who cares? Like a couple of them do, but most of them just break. Um, yeah, this is super funny. I like this. Nico, hats off to you, dude. That's a really fucking funny deck.
Yeah, that's why I tagged it meme.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
It's yeah, it's silly.
Yeah. But
Whew.
with that, I think barring any further submissions, we can call this a short one.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Well, you say that. You say it's a short one. It has been 2.5 hours.
Ty, our
Though I know
average our average
you
fix
often
it
go to like
Friday.
one.
Hold on, our
Mhm.
average fix it Friday,
It's like
sir,
4 hours.
is like 4 hours plus.
Yeah, I will say, most of those videos, I check out around 2 hours, 2.5 hours. You're just checking out with me this time.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, we had so prior to this in April we had a 5.5 hour one. Then we had in January we had 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Um, 3 years prior to that in May we had a 5.5 hour one.
It's just-
Um, Interesting. So yeah, we actually tend to fluctuate between 2 hours and 5 hours.
yeah,
Looking at
because I
purely
do.
looking at records from this, short ones are 2.5 hours, long ones are longer. But
I remember it might have been the last one we did, but I remember I was like falling asleep on the episode. Like I was like dozing,
mm,
and I was just like, I need to go to bed. I'm going to bed. Good night. And I still remember I changed into pajamas, brushed my teeth, went to bed, laid down, fell asleep, woke up because I had to pee, and looking at my computer and you were still streaming, and I was like, Jesus.
Dude, well, I had Dan hop in. Dan covered
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. So I was just like, damn, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Warren. Planet Site B. Plant the bomb. It's Counter Strike now. Or if you want to go Valorant, plant the spike, whatever. But yeah, so thanks everybody for watching.
Yep.
I always have a great time doing these. I know Ty does as well. I know
Yeah.
some people in the community really like them.
Yeah. I have to admit. Well, okay, I do have to ask. What was your favorite deck tonight?
If I had to pick a favorite deck tonight, okay, so let me go review the decks that we did tonight. So we had the Bomb
Yeah.
Squad, we had the Octo Pirates, Soldier Candidates, the Shinra stuff, the small stuff from Nick, Kuja Rug, and the Earth Wind deck. Um, I okay, on Goofy Factor, 100% the Bomb Squad. Like
Yeah.
that is a fantastically memey deck. Just absolutely great joke. Like it might take some games. That's some funny stuff. Very
Mhm.
creative deck idea. Um, in terms of like just actual performing deck, um, I I kind of want to say it was what we ended up doing with Yuki's deck, the Shinra Soldiers and Summons.
Yeah.
Um, because like just sitting here and looking at that Cisne with the behemoth and being like, okay, like, do you get the OTK? That'd be really
Yeah.
friggin' funny. So yeah, man, that is a really funny idea.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean,
Is
obviously, I almost always like everybody's decks. Everybody who
yeah.
submits, like, there's a lot of good stuff. The Kuja Rug idea, that mono ice deck was also very good. I think that was like we both agreed. Like, that's not a broken toaster. You just forgot to plug it in. Like,
Yeah.
that's just plug it. Just plug the toaster in and just run the toast. Like cook the toast. You're good.
Yeah.
Um, we had some fun ones tonight for sure.
Yeah. I agree with Warren. The Reno Sephiroth LV interaction. I'm still very proud of that.
Yeah, that is
That
super
was
good.
however, I have to admit, despite the fact that we didn't change it that much, the soldier candidate list was really fun where I'm just like, what the fuck do you do? Like it was the first one that I was just like I had to reread every single soldier candidate.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I don't know how well this works, but it looks fun.
Yeah, I was struggling to modify that one only because I don't know what would be like I don't know what would like if I change one thing, it's a butterfly effect. Like you change one card and it
Yeah.
could throw off everything else.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a Zach that pings on dull. That one is in fact
Ooh.
in it's right here. This
I
promo
think
Zach. Zach plus Reno. Yeah, that right here. Right here, my man. Right there. Right there. It's there. You can do that. Your deck can theoretically do that also. Problem is the Reno only gives it to a Turk, so kind of narrow.
weird. Uh, it's like yeah, because he was talking about. Oh, interesting. That's a potential option. They both cost 4. Ooh, that's actually no. He has a point because I was running. I think in your version, are you running the old promo Zach? Because I realized that I'm running the box topper Zach.
What the Opus 25 promo?
Yeah, or the Opus 25L. I realized that I could have been running the old one.
Oh, dude, I didn't even notice. That's the wrong Zach.
Yeah, when Zach attacks, choose one forward, dull it. Yeah, actually, no, that's the better idea because especially off of Reno and stuff.
Yeah. My bad. Thank you, Warren, for making me just
Yeah,
go back and relook at that.
it was like, hey, wait a second. There's also once again a very funny interaction with Sephiroth.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm gonna put two of the other four drop Zack and one of the Opus 25.
Hmm.
That is very funny.
Yeah. Well, now that means we have to go back and we have to also change Nick's version as well.
Nix doesn't have. Well,
Oh, he doesn't.
maybe
That's right. He doesn't run the Zac. Although the
yeah.
one that plays a 2-drop for free could go decently with. Hold on a sec.
With having the last swollen.
Let me double
Well,
check. Does that
just
play
not swollen,
any
right?
2-drop? It's category 7 2-drop. So it would have to
Yeah,
be none of them actually. It would target none of them. So that's irrelevant.
yeah, yeah. Because the reason you run the Opus 25 one is so you play Cisne and Reno, and then you have the special in case you have the other one. Like the Reno Rude Dream is nice. Um, it's much nicer when you have the four drop. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
No,
Also, I didn't know
you're
the four
right.
drop was
I
like
agree.
$15.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well,
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching, and
yep,
we'll catch you guys later whenever we do the next one. I am almost done editing all of the stuff from Mike's LQ, so that should be up soon. I hit some snags on it this week. That'll be up. We have a couple of episodes in the chamber that I'm finishing editing as well. And then we have scripts for like I think 3 or 4 more pieces of content that are sitting as well, ready to go on the dugout.
yeah, yeah.
So we have a lot of stuff upcoming. Once the editing is done on a lot of it, we're just getting it out. Yeah, so stay tuned for all that stuff. And we're also waiting to hear back about some cool prospects upcoming. Can't really talk about it, but hopefully that works out for us. And trust me, you'll know if it does.
Yeah. We will be very loud if it does.
Oh, yeah, we're not going to shut up about it. But until then, thanks everybody for watching and
Yep.
have a good night.